after the class I'll discuss it the thing. Okay, please.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, now let us try to understand first of all what is basically the clouds and on-premises. So guys, before we move ahead with what is a cloud and what is an on-premises system, okay, let us try to see an example here. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, guys. So all of us having the mobiles. Am I right, guys? We all have the mobile phones. Am I right? Every one of us is using a mobile phone nowadays. Am I right, guys? Every one of us is using a mobile phone. And even the mobile phone, what type of mobile phones we are using? Smartphones. Am I right, guys? Smartphones. Every one of us has a smartphone, irrespective of the brand you have it. Yes, guys, everyone is using the smartphone or not? Please.
Yes.
Yes. What about rest of all? You people are not using this smartphone,
Yes,
guys?
we are using.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are
So
using.
now, guys, when we use the smartphone, we will have memory in your mobile phone. Am I right, guys? You will have memory in your mobile phone. Now tell me, what is the amount of memory you will have in your mobile phone? Can you tell me? Whichever the phone you're using it. What is
8
the
GB.
8 GB is one memory. And apart from this, yes, guys, anyone else who is using the mobile phone, what is your memory? Tell me now. Up to what level you can store?
12 GB.
12 GB. 12 GB. If somebody is using the iPhone, so the iPhone is providing the highest memory as what? 256 GB. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Everyone. You have the 256 GB provided by the iPhone. Likewise, every one of us has a smartphone and every one of us has the memory in our mobile phone. Now tell me why this memory is used. Why are you using this memory? Can you tell me, guys? I'll talk in your language only. Why do we use this memory? Can you tell me, guys?
If it is a RAM for performance, we are using it. If it is storage for storing local data.
Yes, exactly. That is nothing but basically what we do here is to store the information in your mobile phone, that is in the form of photographs, videos, or some contacts, or whatever the type of data you will have it, to store that particular data, we use the mobile phone memory, isn't it or not? Now, guys, suppose you have a large amount of videos and photos in your mobile phone, which is important for you, and you have saved it in your mobile phone, and now your mobile phone memory is full. The whole 256 GB, can you see here? The whole 256 GB memory is full now. The whole 256 GB memory is full now. So now, guys, tell me now, if the whole 256 GB memory is full, what is the other way you adopt it for extra memory? Can you tell me?
We can buy
Yes, you can buy an SD card. That is SanDisk card, isn't it or not? Am I right, guys? You can buy a SD card of more memory. Suppose 32 GB. I have bought it, or else even you have what is that? Around some 256 GB. You got it SD card. That is also full now. So now, do you have any slots in your mobile phone to enter one more SD card, guys? You'll be having one more slot to enter into your SD card, that is mobile phone or not? Only one SD card slot is provided in the mobile phones. Whereas, apart from this one more, that is one is full. So, can you provide or can you store that data by buying one more SD card and inserting it in your mobile phone? That means, can you insert two SD cards in your mobile phone? Tell me now, guys. Can you insert two SD cards at a time in your mobile phone?
No. No, that is not possible.
No.
Yeah, only one slot is given. So you can enter up to here. So 256 GB you can store it. So this is nothing but the configuration of a mobile phone. Whereas everyone just concentrate well. Whereas, guys, as you have a memory, suppose you have to store here. Suppose, guys, you have to store a memory of 1000 GB more. That means already you saved the memory of 256 GB plus 256 GB. That means how much GB? 512. Okay, am I right, guys? 512 memory GB data is already full in your mobile phone. 512 GB data is already full in your mobile phone. Now I require to store one more 1000 GB, guys. one more 1000 GB data you need to store it in my mobile phone. Now tell me, what is the alternative? Do you have it?
Definitely, we can have a cloud-based storage devices.
Very good. That's a okay. That's a good answer. Now, guys, suppose now the question is, suppose I have how much memory in my mobile phone? Can you tell me now? What is the amount of memory I have it right now? 512 GB. How much memory of that is how much amount of memory I have in mobile phone? How much amount of memory we have it in my mobile phone? 512 GB. Guys, suddenly I lost my mobile phone one day. Suddenly I lost my mobile phone one day. So now, guys, tell me now, if I lost my mobile phone, 512 GB data, which is there in my mobile phone, which is there in internal memory of my mobile phone, and as well as in the SD card, will it be there, or will I have to lose the same?
Everything will be lost.
Everything is lost. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is lost. Siri, you want to tell something? Siri, you want to tell something? Okay, if not, just put it in yourself in mute mode. Okay, so now, guys, everything will be lost. I will be losing everything. That is 512 GB data. But can I recover that even if I buy a mobile phone? Yes, guys, can I recover that? Is there any way?
Yes, we have. If we store it in any online platforms.
No, not. Yeah. I'm not talking about the online platform. Now, if I lost my mobile phone, everything is there in my mobile phone only. That is 512 GB of data is there in my mobile phone. Yes. I lost my mobile phone. Can I recover it?
No.
Not at all. No way to recover it. Am I right, guys? Yes. No way to recover. Mobile phone gone means my data is gone. Everything is gone. I'll not get it. Isn't it or not? I'll not get anything. So whereas in order to overcome this problem, what is the alternative we use it? In order to overcome this problem, we use an alternative. What is it alternative? That is nothing but, if we store this 512 GB data along with my mobile phone, if I store it in a copy of it into my Google Drive. So now, guys, can I recover it if I store it in the Google Drive? Tell me now. My data, yes. 512 GB data is stored in my mobile phone, as well as the same data is stored even in the Google Drive. Can I recover it back even if I lose my mobile phone?
Yes.
Yes, I can recover it. This is a way. There is a way now, guys. But what is the problem here? The problem here is that the Google Drive provides a default memory of 15 GB only. How much memory does it a Google Drive and your Google account gets it with this thing? Can you tell me, guys? Yeah. How much memory you'll get it? Tell me now. You'll get the 15 GB. I want an interactive session, guys. Only 1 or 2 people are interacting. What about the rest of you? Yes, guys, please interact with me. Okay, guys. So here you have, what is that? 15 GB memory is by default provided by the Google. Isn't it or not? But how much memory I need to store it right now? 512 GB. What is that? 512 GB. So what is it you need to do? Tell me now. What is it you need to do, guys? Yeah,
you need to buy storage.
Very good. We need to buy the storage. We need to buy the, yes, guys, buy the storage. Okay, that means you will have to pay some cost, guys. You will have to pay some cost and buy the storage of 512 GB. That means, so they will charge you on the yearly basis, or they will charge you on the quarterly basis, or even some on the monthly basis. You can buy it and you can store it. Okay, so whereas after storing the data into my Google Drive, even if I lost my mobile phone, the lost data can be recovered it back. Simply what I need to do, I need to buy a mobile phone, new handset. And in that handset, we need to configure my mail ID along with my password and use an option called synchronize. So automatically, everything which is there in the drive will be retrieved back and restore it to my mobile phone. Am I right, guys? Yes, am I right?
Yes.
So now, guys, who is taking care of the security of your data? Who is taking care of the security of your data? Tell me now. Google. Okay. Google is taking the security of your data, that no one should able to access your data unless until the username and password is satisfied. Am I right, guys? So Google is taking care of your data. That means Whenever you require it, the Google will provide you. And whereas the security of your data, the access of your data, everything is a responsibility of Google. Now, one fine day, I immediately left for US. So I'm there in US. Now, guys, I have already configured a Google Drive of 512 GB, wherein I stored the entire data. After going there, I've changed my number. So can I access the data which I have saved in the Google Drive even after going to US? Tell me now.
Yes, of course.
Yes, possible. That means obviously it is possible. Simply what happens? The Google Drive will work on your email ID and password. Am I right, guys? So if you enter that email ID and password, you can access the data from anywhere from the globe. Am I right, guys? Anywhere from the globe. So we can say that the access of data, the security of data is the responsibility of what is that? Google. Am I right, guys? Is the responsibility of what? Google. So unknowingly, what you're doing there, we all are using the cloud platform, isn't it or not? Unknowingly, we all have moved from, that is nothing, we have moved from what is that? That is the on-premises platform to cloud only. That means from the SD cards. SD card is your what? SD card memory, or your mobile phone memory is your SD card memory, or your mobile phone memory is on-premises memory. Whereas we have automatically moved from on-premises memory and what is that? On-premises memory and SD card memory to what is that? Google Drive memory. That means unknowingly, we all have moved to what is that? We all have moved to what is it, guys? Cloud system. We have already moved to what is that? Cloud platform. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. So we have moved to what is that? The cloud platform. All of us. Okay. So whereas now, after moving to the cloud platform, it has become easier for us to access the data from any device you require it. From any device you require it. Sharing has also become so easier. So whereas security has also become very comfortable. Okay. So whereas only this is possible because of the cloud platform. Whereas as we are an individuals, we have a little amount of data. When it comes to the business entities, what is that? Business entities will have a very massive amount of data. Very massive amount of data. And they want the data to be secured and access it whenever the time requires. And every time the corporates have fed up by buying the license every time you require a software, they need to buy the license, they have to pay the cost for the license, they need to purchase that software, they need to install it, and then they have to put the software. So in order to avoid that, if you require a software, don't do it by yourself. Simply inform your cloud provider. Simply inform your cloud provider. He will buy it for you. He will buy the license for you. Simply he is going to provide you. Am I right, guys? Simply he is going to provide you. It is just like we go and watch a movie in a theater. It is just like we go and watch a movie in the theater. Now the going and watching a movie in the theater has become the ancient trend, isn't it or not? Nowadays, to watch a latest release, what is the way we are adopting it, guys? Tell me now. What is the way we are adopting it? Tell me now, guys. We are adopting the way called what? Am I audible to everyone?
What it is?
Very good. We are using the platform called what? OTTs. Yes, guys, we are using a platform called what is that? OTT platform. Okay. We are using the platforms called what? OTT. So whereas, so OTT requires what? OTT requires what? Simply it requires, yes, simply it requires a username. Simply it requires what is that? A username. Guys, it requires a username, that is nothing but your mobile phone or mail ID, whatever it may be. And it requires a password. It requires a password. Simply if you enter the same, guys, simply if you enter the same, immediately, okay, immediately you will able to access it. But now, guys, if you want to watch a latest release, what is that you have it? Tell me now. All of you, are you there, guys? Yeah, am I there? Are you able to understand?
Yes.
Everyone, please.
Yes.
So now, yeah. So what is that you have it? So simply we need to enter the username and password to get it. Now I wanted to see a latest release movie. What is it?
You
we
have
need
to
do?
subscription.
Yeah, we need to go for a premium subscription. Am I right, guys? You need to go for
Yes.
what is that? Premium subscription. We need to go for what? Premium subscription. Okay. You have to pay some cost and buy and watch that movie. Am I right, guys? So you can watch it how many times? Is there any limit for watching that movie?
No.
No limit. You can watch n number of times you want it. You can watch the movie n number of times. That means it is in your hands. Am I right, guys? So in the same way here also, guys, here also, if you require a software, a latest software, suppose you require a software called, okay, SAS, or we require a software called Oracle. Okay, Oracle. We require it, Oracle. So here you need not buy the license of Oracle. Here you need not buy the license of SAS. So SAS stands for Statistical Analysis System. So you not buy this. Simply what we need to do, guys, simply we need to inform the cloud provider. Simply we need to inform the cloud provider. Okay, guys, simply we need to inform the cloud provider that you require these softwares. Okay, so what is the cloud provider is going to do? He is going to buy the license for you. So now, guys, across the globe, we have the following cloud providers and the market leaders in cloud providing. Okay, what is that? The first one is, what is that? You have the Azure. You have, what is that? Azure is from Microsoft. Azure is from, what is that? Microsoft. And the second one, you have it as what? Yes, guys, AWS, which stands for Amazon Web Services from Amazon. Okay, guys. And then we have, what is that? The third who is coming up, the market leader is, what is that? GCP, which stands for Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so from the Google. Okay, from the Google. And apart from this, we also have the cloud provider as SAP. SAP, you might have heard SAP Labs. They have come out with their own, that is nothing but, that is the cloud computing technology with, what is the name called, what, and the provider is what? SAP Labs. Okay, whereas you have, what is that, guys? You have the Oracle Cloud. You have a Oracle Cloud. Oracle has also come out with their own cloud. And whereas the Oracle Cloud, what is the thing you have it? Oracle is provided by what? Oracle Corporation. Oracle Corporation. Okay, guys, Oracle Corporation. Somebody just put it in the mute mode. Yeah, Prashant. So put it in the mute mode. Okay. So we have, what is it? These are all the cloud providers. These are all the cloud providers. We have it. Anyways, the first three are the market leaders, whereas the first three are considered as the market leaders in providing the cloud technologies. Getting my point, everyone? Yes, everyone. So this is nothing but the cloud technology. We have it. Now, guys, these cloud providers are providing in the form of service. So here you require the Oracle software. You have informed, or you require the Oracle software. You have informed your cloud provider called Azure. Your cloud provider is Azure. And you inform him that you need a Oracle software. So now, guys, what happens? Azure is going to get in touch with the Oracle, is going to buy this software. But here you need not, and they're going to install the same onto their cloud environment, and the same is accessible to you. Whereas all these is divided in the form of, guys, what is that? In the form of service. So for that, they have divided the cloud services in three categories. What is that? The first one is called as what? IaaS, where the IaaS stands for, what is it, guys? Infrastructure. Yes, guys, infrastructure as a service. And whereas the second one, the service they have provided, what is it called as what? That is nothing but PaaS. So what do you mean PaaS, guys? Can you tell me? PaaS stands for what?
Platform as a service.
Platform, yes, guys, as a service. Very good. Now the third one, the third services that provided by the cloud is, what is it? You have it? SaaS. So which stands for what, guys?
Service as a platform.
Software as a service.
Software as a service.
Software as a service. Software as a service. That means if you require any software to be available in your cloud, so at that time you need to raise a request. You need to raise a request. And once you raise a request, what happens? The package will be allocated to you. That means this is provided to you on this much cost. That means hourly or monthly. Can you see here? Hourly, here hourly, or daily, monthly, quarterly, likewise half yearly. Okay, so likewise half yearly, all the things are provided to you. That means you have to make the payment either quarterly or monthly or daily or hourly basis. Okay guys, so this software is provided to you on the following thing. That means once you utilize this software and your work is done, simply you need to pay for the service you have used it. Simply you need to pay for the service you have used it. That's it, but not the entire cost. Now guys, nowadays even you are getting two-wheelers on rent. So what is that? How they will get it? You'll get the two-wheeler on rent. So you go, suppose if at all you want to that is nothing but move around the city, you need not buy a scooter, you need not borrow it from anyone. Simply you need to approach that is nothing but the entity who is providing the scooter or rent, and you need to take your scooter. And at the time of giving the scooter, what he says that you have hourly, you can opt it for a hourly buys. That means 6 hours I need a scooter, that's it. So you can 6 hours you can make out all the task and come and give him back. Else you want a monthly wise, or else you want a that is nothing but yearly wise. So likewise the all things are provided to you. So whenever you require it, you need not buy a scooter. In the same way here also, whenever you require any software to be used, okay, to use, you need not buy the software license. Simply you need to inform your cloud provider, and cloud provider is going to provide that in the form of a service called SaaS. That is called as what? Software as a service. Now guys, platform as a service. So what do you mean platform guys? Here, suppose you are dealing with the banking data. Now guys, banking data is considered as the largest amount of data. Am I right guys? It is called as a huge and large amount of data. So the banking industry has the very massive amount of data. So whenever you require the massive amount of data to be maintained, the operating system called Windows does not support it. The operating system called what is it? Windows does not support it guys, most of the times. So at that time, you require to operate it on what is that? Mainframes, or else Unix or Linux. Isn't it or not? Linux or Linux, various operating system do you need to use it. So now guys, do you need to buy the operating system if you are using the service as a platform as a service guys? Do you need to buy the platform? That is nothing but operating system guys? No, we don't need to buy it. Simply we need to inform our cloud provider that instead of Windows operating system, I want to run my machine on what is that? Mainframes operating system. So this operating system is provided by the service provider with a name called what? Platform as a service. Getting my point guys? Yes, getting my point. In the same way guys, I want some 1000 PB, that is petabyte data. So what is that? Gigabyte, terabyte and petabyte. So I want 1000 petabyte data to be stored here. Okay, so now guys, if at all you want to store it 1000 that is GB 1000 petabyte data, we require to buy the hard disk, etc. Okay, but here I don't think you have available, even the petabyte hard disk is not available in the market. Okay, very rare, I think so. Now guys, so if you require to store the data in petabytes, so in this case, can you see here? Simply you need not buy the hard disk anything. Simply you need to inform your cloud provider that I wanted to store the 1000 petabyte data. So now the cloud provider is going to provide you the storage on the cloud system. It is just like your Google Drive. So you require the Google Drive of how much GB here? 512 GB of Google Drive. You require it. You have informed the that is Google, and Google took some money from you and provided you the space. What is the space they have provided you? 512 GB. Am I right guys? 512 GB data they have. That is nothing but storage they have provided you. In the same way, that is also service. That means unknowingly we are already using the service called what? Yes, guys, we are using the service called what? Infrastructure as a service. We are using the service called what? Infrastructure as a service with the Google, by using the Google Drive. Am I right, guys? Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So now this is nothing but these are the services we have it, all of you. So now, so overallly, so why do we use the cloud technology? Now you tell me, guys. We use the cloud technology to what is that? Have a, that is nothing but large, massive amount of storage on the cloud, and you can run it on various operating systems with a very good security. Okay, with all security, and security issues will need not be taken care by you. And whereas whenever you require any software, you need not buy the license of the same. Simply you need to inform your cloud providers, and these services are provided by the above following cloud providers. The cloud provider will give you the service in the following three categories. What are the three categories? IaaS, PaaS, and what is it, guys? IaaS, PaaS, and what is that? CaaS. Okay, guys, clear everyone? Yeah, everyone is following or not? Please.
Yes.
Okay, so next. So now, guys, before we move ahead, I would like to go ahead with a very basic thing. So before we understand, guys, before we understand what is the Azure Databricks, why the Azure Databricks is used, in what situation the Azure Databricks is used, okay, what is the Azure Data Engineering, before I explain you this, where it is used and how it is used, you know that this is a cloud technology, but how it is used and where it is used, to understand that, let us go out from a very basic part here. Very basic. Okay, so let us start from the scratch level, guys. Let us see what is a language. So now, guys, tell me, what do you mean by understand? What do you understand by the word called language? Tell me now. What do you understand by the word called language? Yes, guys. Language is nothing but it is a means of communication between two persons. Am I right, guys? Does it make any sense? Please.
Yes.
Yeah, that is nothing but language is nothing but it is a means of communication. Language is nothing but it is a means of communication between two or more to understand the conversation and to also share the knowledge. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Sorry. Yeah, guys. Sorry. So now, guys, we were discussing about the languages. Okay. So language is nothing but what is that? It is a means of communication. It is what is that? A means of communication between two or the more people to understand the conversation. See, guys, you and me are interacting with each other, isn't it or not? You and me are interacting with each other now. So why do we understand? Why do we interacting? What is the necessity of interacting? Tell me now, guys. You and me are interacting with each other. Why? To share the knowledge. Am I right, guys? To share the knowledge. To share the knowledge, we're interacting with each other. Now, whereas, so to interact and to understand, what is the means of communication we are using it? Tell me now. Yes, guys? To interact and to understand, what is the means of communication we are using it? Please tell me, guys. Yeah? English as the means of communication. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes, English is the language I'm using it to understand this conversation and share the knowledge. In the same way, whenever you wanted to interact with a computer, Guys, the computer does not understand our English. So for that, it requires a computer language to be used. For that, we use the language called what? C plus
language.
plus. Oh yes, C plus plus. Then we have, what is that? Yes,
Java.
Java. Okay, Java. These are all the languages we use to interact with the computer. Now, guys, you and me are interacting with each other. What, for what purpose? What is the purpose of our interaction? To share the knowledge, isn't it or not? To share the knowledge. In the same way, we interact with the computer for what reason? We interact with the computer in order to, what is that? Develop a package, or to achieve a task, or to achieve a task. So whereas, what do you mean by package? Package is nothing but a ready-made application which is used to achieve a task, is called as what? Package. Now guys, suppose my task is, I wanted to design my resume in my computer. What is the format which you will tell me now? Yes, guys. You want to design a resume in your computer. What is the format which you use in the computer? Tell me now, guys.
Word.
Exactly. So
Word.
what is that? Yes, very good. We use, what is that? MS Word. That is called as what? Microsoft Word document. In the same way, if at all you want to put the data in the tabular format, that is the form of rows and columns, then what is the format which you use? Tell me now, guys.
Excel.
Very good.
MS Excel.
Yes, MS Excel. Yes. And in the same way, I want some kind of presentation to be prepared. What is the format which you use in the computer? Tell me now, guys. What is the format which you use in the computer?
PowerPoint.
Very good. So
PowerPoint.
MS PowerPoint. Very good. PP. Likewise, for different situations. Yes. Okay. Anyways, for different situations, guys, for different situations, different type of, okay, packages are provided. These are called as ready-made packages. So these packages are developed. These are called as what? Packages. These packages are developed. These packages are developed by using, what is that? Language. What is the language? C++, Java, etc., etc. Okay, guys, clear now? So whereas we can say that all the languages are used to develop a package. Packages are used to achieve a task. Am I right, guys? Achieve a task. Whereas, as we know that languages are nothing but is used to develop a package. That means the languages, can we call it here as a technical applications? Can we call this word, guys? Technical application? Yes, guys? Can we call these applications? Can we call these applications as a technical application or not? Guys, please tell me. Can we call this as a, yes, we can call it as a technical application. Whereas, what is the packages? Packages are ready-made, na? Ready-made. Packages are, what is it? Ready-made. Ready to use. That's it. So this kind of applications is called as what? Yes, guys. These called as applications are called as what? Functional applications. These are called as what, guys? Functional applications. These are called as what? Functional applications. Now, guys, we have how many type of applications now? Technical applications and functional applications. Where technical applications are those where everything the user has to write it. That means technically the user has to type this. Isn't it or not? Technically the user has to type these applications. Hence, this kind of applications. Hence, this kind of applications are called as, what is that? Technical applications. And what about the function applications? So in order to use the Microsoft Word document, guys, in order to use the Microsoft Word document, do we need to have the knowledge of C language or not?
No, not required.
Do you need to have the knowledge of C++ or Java or not?
No, not required.
Not required. So hence, whenever you want to use these applications, so we don't require any kind of knowledge of a language. Am I right, guys? So hence, these applications are called as, what is it, guys? Functional applications. These are called as what? Functional applications. So how many kind of applications we have it? Technical applications, where we write the code, and functional applications are those which are used to achieve a specific task. Whereas if you combine this technical applications and functional applications together, guys, if we combine the technical applications and functional applications together, these a new application will be created. That is called as what? Techno functional. That is called as what, guys? Techno-functional. Okay, techno-functional. That is called as what? Techno-functional. What do you mean by techno-functional? Can anyone tell me? Yes, guys. What do you mean by techno-functional? See, guys, I don't want to take your names and ask the answers just like the kids. So I want everyone to respond it. That's better, na? For you and me. The session will be interactive and it will be interesting for you and me. So kindly please interact. So guys, what do you mean by techno-function? Tell me now. Yes? Any idea?
We can use the functionality also, and we
Okay.
can, if you want, we can customize using coding.
Very good.
Business
That
logic.
is-
Business logic.
Yes. So whereas techno-functional applications are nothing but these are the applications which is filled up with technicality and functionality. That means 50% of the application will be technical. That means where you need to write to the code. 50% will be functional. 50% will be what's that? Functional. That means you need not write the code. Some 50% will be predetermined or predefined, and 50% where you have to write it or define it. So hence this kind of applications are called as what? Techno-functional applications are called as what? Techno-functional applications. So under this techno-functional applications, guys, what are the applications we have it? So all the ERPs, guys, all the ERPs comes under what is it? Techno-functional. And apart from the ERPs, all the databases, guys, all the databases comes under what is that? Techno-functional only. Now, before we move ahead, let us try to elaborate and see what is an ERP. Then we will see the database. Guys, what do you understand by the word called an ERP? Can you tell me, guys? ERP stands for what? Enterprise. It stands for what? Enterprise. And R stands for what is it, guys? Resource. R stands for what? Resource. P stands for what? Plan. Whereas together it is called as what? Enterprise Resource Plan. ERP stands for what, guys? Enterprise Resource Plan. Whereas Enterprise Resource Plan is nothing but what is that? Let us try to see this. Let us see, whenever you're not understanding anything or it is difficult for you to understand, let's try to split it into the parts. Enterprise. So now tell me, what do you mean enterprise? Tell me now. What do you understand by the word called enterprise? If I'm using the enterprise.
Company.
Very good. A company, and or an organization,
Institute.
or a business. Yes. Or a business entity. Okay. Or a business entity. Okay. Or a business entity is called as what is that? Enterprise. Whereas every enterprise, guys, requires, what is that? Every enterprise requires resource. So now tell me, what do you understand by the word called resource? If I'm using the word called resource. Now, guys, this is the class going on. Am I right? This is the class going on. Am I right, guys? So to run this class, what are the resources do we require? Tell me now.
Internet,
Very good.
any
Okay.
mobile device, like any electronic device.
Very good. That is mobile phone, laptop, etc. Yes. Apart from this,
We need a common platform to connect with each other.
that is called as a we are using the Zoom application.
Zoom
Yes,
application.
Zoom application. Yes. Next, apart from this,
We need
Yes,
a
guys.
human resource. I mean, yeah, human
people to join, all this. Exactly. Whereas, can you see here, guys, just to run or just to see this class, what are the resources we have used it? We have used the internet connectivity. We have used the Zoom app and the computer, your computer and my computer, your mobile phone or my computer. All these are the resources of the classroom. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
All these are the resources of the classroom. Whereas in the same way, the business also has a resource. Okay. So that means the resources are classified or divided into three categories. The first one is called as what? Any business entity requires what is that? Manpower. Any entity requires what is that? Manpower. And apart from the manpower, it requires what is that? Finance. Yes, guys, money they require it. And the other thing they require it is what? Assets. Assets are nothing but machineries, etc., etc.
Yes.
Okay, so these are all the assets. So whereas manpower, finance, and assets, these are called as what? Resources of an enterprise. Resources of an enterprise. And now, guys, what do you mean by P? P stands for what is it, guys? Tell me now. P
Planning.
stands for what? Planning. So P stands for planning. Planning is nothing but, guys, planning is nothing but how to plan your manpower, how to plan your finance, how to plan your assets, how to plan your manpower, how to plan your finance, how to plan your assets, how to plan your manpower, how to plan your finance, and how to plan your assets in a best way, to get the maximum output. Output means what? Output refers to what, guys? Here, when it is a business, the output refers to what? Profits.
Productivity.
Profits, productivity, whatever. Ultimately, profit only, na. Productivity means profit. So
Yes.
ultimately, the profits. So now, guys, can I say like this? How to get the maximum profits from your business? The solution is provided by the application called ERP. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
Yes.
Enterprise
yes.
resource plan. Likewise, guys, on this particular enterprise application, or we can say on this particular domain, okay, we have a many domains developed on this particular that is technique, that is called as enterprise resource plan, is a technique. On this we have many domains developed, such as what we have: sales and distribution. In short, we call it as SD. MM, which stands for material management. We have the production planning, okay, and we have what is it?
SCM.
Okay, yes, SCM, okay, supply chain management, okay. Then we have what is that? Even this finance, okay, that is called as FICO, okay, that is finance. And then we have what is that? That is even we have what is it? HRMS, which we call it as human resources management system, etc. These are all the domains, guys. These are all the domains of the ERP. We can say the domain, that means how to extract the maximum profits out of sales and distribution, how to extract the maximum profits or the productivity out of the material management, how to extract the maximum productivity or profits out of the production planning, supply chain management, finance, how to utilize your finance in the best way to get the maximum outputs, and how to manage your employees. That is nothing but given in human resources management. Whereas on all these domains, we have the softwares developed. We say SAP HR or HRMS. Actually, HRMS is the domain of the ERP, and SAP is the software developed on the domain called what? HRMS. Okay. Then even we have Oracle EBS. Oracle EBS. EBS is nothing but it is also the same as HRMS. Okay. Whereas Oracle is a, guys, Oracle is a software, and EBS, can you see it? EBS is what is that you have it? EBS is nothing but the domain. So which takes care about the human resources. Getting my point, guys? All of you getting my point? So whereas this is the thing we have it. What is that? SAP and what is that? Oracle are the softwares developed on the domains of the ERP. And this helps you to get the maximum outputs or the profits from the existing business. Okay, guys, clear all of you? Yes, all of you clear with this ERP now, guys?
Yes.
Now, though this is not related to us, I've explained you just for the sake of knowledge. That's it. Okay. Now, guys, let us come back and onto the very important part of the techno-functional application, that is called as a database. Now, from here, we are going to deal with our business. Database. So what do you mean by database? Guys, database is nothing but, a place where, what is that? Information is recorded. A place where information is recorded in the form of, guys, in the form of tables. In the form of, what is that? Tables. That is in a tabular format. That is, a table is the collection of what, guys? Tell me now. A table is a collection of what? Yes, guys? Rows and
columns.
Okay. A table is the collection of rows and columns. So whereas database is also, that is, database is also an application where it is used to store a massive or a large amount of data. And this data is divided, into two sub databases. That means the database is divided into two parts. What is the first part, guys? The first part of the database, we can call it here as the, yes, guys, we can call it here as the transaction database. It is called as what? Transaction DB. that is called as transaction database. And the second part of the database, guys, the second part, the major part of the database, that is called as what? Yes, guys, that is called as what? Transaction database. And the second part is called as what? Data warehouse. Data warehouse. Am I right, guys? Data warehouse. So, or else we can also call it as what? Warehouse database. Warehouse database. Getting my point? These are the two names we can use it. So, database is divided into two databases, sub databases. That is called as a transaction database, and the second one is called as what? Data warehousing or data warehouse. So, whereas why it is divided? What is the necessity of dividing? Before that, I will add one more point here. Transaction database is a database where all the detailed records are recorded. Where all what is that? Detailed information is recorded, and these detailed information or these detailed records are used for what is it, guys? Verification. Verification, guys. These detailed records are used for what? Yes, guys. These detailed records are used for what? These detailed records are used for verification and validation. That's it. And whereas the data which is recorded in a data warehouse is recorded in which manner here, guys? It is recorded in the summarized manner. It is recorded in the summarized manner, and these records are used for what is that? Or these records are used for what is it, guys? Analysis. These records are used for what? Analysis. And whereas analysis is nothing but what is that? Analysis is nothing but decision-making system. Am I right, guys? Decision-making system. That means you can decide anything. Okay, decision-making system. Okay. So whereas the data, which is the data in the data warehouse, is recorded in which manner here? In the summarized manner, and these records are used for analysis. And the data which is recorded in the, yes, guys, the data is recorded in a transaction database is used for what? Verification and what is that? Validation. So now, guys, let us try to understand why the database is recorded or divided into two types of sub databases. So with the help of example. Now, guys, here, okay, now, guys, here, let us take a live example. I wanted to buy a book. Guys, all of you concentrate well. I wanted to buy a book for a subject called English story books. I want to buy it. Now I have been to the book hosiery, or I have been to the book shop. I asked the shopkeeper to show the books that is called as English story books. So he showed me a rack which is full of multiple books. Now, guys, you tell me, how do you take the decision of purchasing that book or not? Or how do you make a decision of purchasing which book? You have 100 books are there, guys. You have 100 books. Is it possible for you to sit at the shop and read the entire books and take a decision? Is it possible?
No.
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 Yes, guys, only
No.
only 2-3 answers. Is it not possible? So it's not possible to sit at the shop and read all the books. What is the way you adopt it? Tell me now. Generally, you forget about this data warehouse, database. Tell me now. Generally, example, we'll discuss it. Tell me now.
By seeing the title.
Very good. By seeing the title, or we can say that when you take the book into your hand and open the book, you turn the pad of the book, you will find a first paper. What is that first paper consisting of? Tell me now.
Index.
Very good. Very good. Index. What does the index consisting of? Tell me now.
Page numbers, like in which
Information.
we have information like
That means page number along with that is the topic name along with the page number. Topic name along with what is that? Page number. Topic name along with what is that? Page number will be recorded. Topic name along with the page number. Suppose I saw a story there. Okay, the Little Angel. I saw a story called Little Angel, starting at the page number 21 and ending at the page number 55. So I wanted to know what is the thing you have it in this particular where the title is the Little Angel. So what is that I need to do? I need to go to that page number 21 and start reading and end the reading at the 55th page number. where I'll come to know what is the story is about. Am I right, guys? What is the story is about? So whereas here in the situation, what you are doing there, you are choosing the guys, you are choosing the topic name along with the page number from the index paper and going to the particular page number and started the reading. Am I got? Am I like understandable, everyone? Are you able to catch my point, everyone? Yes, guys. So now you'll start reading at the 25th page number and end the reading at the 55th page number. But you will find that topic heading in what is that index paper. So can I say like this? The book is divided into two parts. The first paper is the index paper and the second part is the detailed part. Can I say like this, guys? Everyone? Yeah, guys, am I audible or not?
Yes, we can say that.
We can say that. In fact, yes, we can say that. So whereas the index paper is nothing but where you have that topic name along with the page number recorded in a summarized manner. Whereas from the second paper till the end of the book, the entire book is recorded in which manner here? Detailed manner. So if you have a topic name in the index paper called The Little Angel, you wanted to know what is the story, you need to go and check in what? The page number in the book and you have to start reading. Then only your doubt will be clarified. So we can say that from the second paper till the end of the book, it is used for verification and validation. Am I right, guys? It is used for what? Verification and validation. What to verify? What to verify? The information which is there on the index paper. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So whereas in the same way, guys, the index paper which is there in a book will be recorded in a data warehouse, and from the second paper till the end of the book will be recorded in what? Transaction database. So it will be recorded in what is that? Transaction database. Getting my point, everyone? So database is like your book. Database is like your what is that? Book. Book has the two parts. Now, what are the two parts? The first part is what is it, guys? The first part is the index paper. The first part is what is it, guys? Index paper. So here you will have index paper. Am I right, guys? The first part is the index paper and the second part is what is that? The detailed paper, detailed record. So whereas from the second paper till the end of the book, okay, so the second paper till the, sorry, reverse of this. Okay, so whereas, can you see here, guys? So the details will be recorded in what? Transaction database. And now, guys, the details will be recorded in what? Transaction database. And the summary paper will be recorded in what is that? Index paper. That is called as what? Data warehouse. And index paper, we are using it for what? Whether to purchase the book or not. Whether to purchase the book or not, to take the decision, we are using the index paper. In the same way, data warehouse is also used for decision making system. That is to decide anything, to perform the analysis on the data. And analysis is possible only on the summarized data. Now, can you guys tell me, can you take a decision by reading the whole book itself of purchasing it or not? Can you guys, my question is that, is it possible for you to read the whole book and take a decision? It is possible?
No.
No.
It is possible, no? Why not possible? Really possible. But it will take much time for you. Am I right, guys?
Yes, it will take a time.
Yes.
Yeah, time consumption will be more. So to save the time, you will read the index paper. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
In the same way, here also, the data within a database called transaction database can be used for analysis, but lot of time consumption will happen here. In order to avoid that, we store the data in what is that? Data warehouse. Getting my point, all of you?
Yes.
So now guys, the book is like your database and index paper is like your data warehouse and the detail is nothing but just like your transaction database. All of you clear now, everyone? So whereas guys, okay, whereas guys, here you have it. Okay, whereas guys, here, can you see? Okay, let us go back to our same example of a book. Now guys, tell me now, you took the book in your hand and you started reading. Now tell me, according to you, I'm just generally asking you, according to you, The index paper was developed first or the book is written first? Can somebody tell me? Guys, according to you, there is a book, story book, which has the index paper and as well as the book is there. So which will be written first? Index paper will be written first or the book will be written first?
Book.
Book will be written first and then we will index it.
Very good, excellent. So in the same way here also, first of all, transaction database is developed. Based on the transaction database only, the data warehouse is developed. Getting my point? Now you have to develop the index paper in the book. So guys, if it is a matter of one book, you can develop the index paper in how much time? Tell me now. You have 10 lessons there. 10 lessons there. How much time it will take for you to develop an index paper? How much time will it take? Yes, guys. How much time it will take for you to write an index paper by looking into a book? Tell me now.
Possibly more than half an hour. Or
Yeah, more than half an hour it will take. Of course, let us take it 1 hour. Suppose you have to write the indexes for 1,000 books. How much time will it take?
definitely it's gonna take a few days.
Few days. Suppose if it is a 1 lakh books, if it is 1 lakh books,
A quite tedious process.
yes, so that means very large, very large. So here, whenever you require a very large, massive amount of data to be summarized, or to convert the detailed data into towards a summarized manner, here we require the technique. So it's a tedious process. Hence, it's a cumbersome process. So to avoid that, we use a technique here. The technique is called as what? ETL. We use a technique called, what is that, guys? ETL, which stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. So extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. Getting my point, all of you? Extraction, transformation, and what is that? You have it, guys? Loading. So this is a technique we use to convert the detailed data, that is the transaction database, to what is that? Data warehouse. We use the process called extraction, transformation, and loading to convert this detailed data into what is that? Summarized manner. So in short, we call it as what? ETL. Else, right now, very more trending technique we are using it, ELT also. ELT. Even this we are going to see ELT. So whereas ELT means what? Extract, load, later transform it. Extract and load first, later transform it. Getting my point? These are the two techniques we use it. Whereas whenever you have a very massive amount of data to be summarized, lakhs and crores of records are there, which requires to be summarized. In that, you can use what is that? ETL as the technique. Whereas on this particular technique called ETL, we have the cloud service called, what is that? ADF and ADB provided. Azure Databricks and what is that? Azure Data Factory is provided for the same. That means between the clouds or on-premises, between the clouds and on-premises, whenever you wanted to perform the job of ETL, we use either what is that? ADB. We use what is that? ADB, or else we can also use what is that? ADF. That is called as Azure Databricks, and ADF stands for what is that, guys? Azure Data Factory. Okay, so now the Azure Databricks is used to perform the job of ETL, where it is a CUI, character user interface, which is nothing but called as what? Where we have to use the language and the commands. And the commands in ADB, we can write it in 4 different languages. The first one is, what is it? We can write it here, guys. Yes, the first one we can write it, guys. The first one we can write it here. Yes, guys, the first one we can write it in what? That is in the Scala language, and the second we write it here. The first we write it in the Scala, and the second one we write it here in the R language. Okay, guys, And the third one, we write it here on this, that is Spark. And the fourth, we can also write it in Python. Okay, guys, these are the 4 different languages in which we write the code using the ADB. That is nothing called as what? Azure Databricks. Okay, guys, Azure Databricks. So the Azure Databricks, we can write it in all these 4 different languages. That is Scala, R, Python. So hence, it is mandatory for us to learn and to develop the skill set on these. That is called a Scala, R, Python. And mostly the commonly used language and very frequently used commands in this Python, that is ADB is the Python. Okay, that is nothing but we use the Python to write the code. But the same code we can process it in the same, we can also process it in what? SQL also.
Java.
Yeah, SQL. Guys, okay now. So these are the things where we can write it here by using all the, okay. And now Spark and Python together, we call it as PySpark.
Yes, PySpark.
Guys, Spark and Python together, we call it as what? PySpark. So here, we don't require to use the things separately here. Okay, guys, clear all of you now? So these are the languages and we use it. So we use the Azure Databricks to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading between the on clouds and on, that is between the clouds and on premises. So whereas how it is used between the on premises and clouds, okay. Okay, so on premises and clouds, all those things that we will see tomorrow, guys. Okay, so that's it. So now, guys, we will start up the class tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please connect it at 10 a.m. everyone. Okay, guys. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, go ahead. Please go ahead now.
Yes.
Yeah, will you?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
One by one, please. Tell me, no issues.
What is the difference between a Spark and PySpark that you stated there in third one? So is there any difference between a Spark and Python? So could you please tell me if there is any difference in it?
Spark is basically the cluster.
Spark is a cluster.
Yes.
Okay. So now why we are just moving towards ELT, not for the ETL?
To make the process more simplified.
Could you please elaborate?
To make the process more simplified in the sense, extraction is done, loading is done. So whereas what we can do is, once the data is loaded, we can transform it according to the requirement of multiple users. Whereas previously what we used to happen, extraction used to done, transformation based on a particular query we used to work it. I mean, right? Suppose we require only the net sales amount. So we used to work on extraction of the net sales amount only on the transformation process. Isn't it or not? And once the data is loaded, only one user can was able to use that particular query. Am I right? Now for multiple users, you have to develop the transformations. So for that, what are all the entities you require? Pull in, first of all, pull in, load it, and then transform it according to the user. So this will make the process more faster than the ETL.
Yes. Is Azure Databricks is ELT or ETL?
Both it supports.
Both it supports.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can use for ADF, right? Why we are using for ADB? So ADF will be like orchestration kind of thing, right?
That service is different. This service is different. Okay, guys. So you have a Honda Activa and Jupiter is there in the market, two-wheelers. So if you ask me why you are using Jupiter, why not Honda Activa? Honda Activa is very famous. That is my discretion, isn't it or not? It is a requirement of the user and the client requirement. Based on that, you have to work. Obviously, when ADB is involved, more, right now for basically to create the delta lakes, and access the data from the delta lakes and generate the reports and process the data is more faster. Delta lake is nothing but the it is a top layer built upon the storages, okay, wherein, the most summarized data, the most used data will be stored in the delta lake. So that all concepts we can develop it here, okay, using the bricks. Okay, so it's more faster and is more faster in bricks compared to the ADF. That is it. We can also do it in ADF also. Yes, tell me. Next.
Sir, would
Is
you be
it necessary to
covering
learn R, Python or Scala before
If you know,
going for this course?
anyways, we are going to see the basics of R and Python. Okay, the basic classes also I will take it for R and Python. Need not worry about that. So you will be I'll be taking the basic classes. You can just have it. That will be enough. If you want more grip, obviously, once you keep on going the things, obviously you will get it. That's not a problem. You need not learn it separately as far as my thing is concerned. If you think that is required, so you can also learn it, but not required basically. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
ADF
So,
is mandatory,
so timing, our
ADF
timing is
mandatory.
10 to 11, right?
10 to 11, 15, or might be 11:30 also sometime, because this requires 1 hour 15 minutes to 1.5 hour time, because the exercises will be very lengthy. It is not like other softwares. We just finish it off in 45 minutes.
So
And our
ADF is
recordings will be
mandatory
there,
for the-
right?
Pardon me?
ADF is mandatory, right, for this?
Not mandatory, guys. That is different. This is different.
Okay. So
And
would you
we
be
have a
covering
recording
like
also available, right?
Well, yeah, recording you'll be get it. You'll get it on the Google Drive. You can have the Google Drive access. You can have the recording. That's it. Yeah. Next.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, for login into Azure, do we need credit card?
Yes, of course, you require the credit card.
Without credit card, is there
Right now, no, there is no way to, there is no way to get in without this. If you really require it, log in this thing. So what exactly happens is, anybody can share it, the credit card. That's not a problem, but it's allowing you the auto debit facility now. So that is the reason why people hesitate to give that. That's the problem.
means if someone is not having the credit card, then
You have to buy someone else's credit card. That's
Okay,
it. If you
okay.
don't have it. Thank you.
okay.
Samir,
Please go ahead.
one question is I have as I can check on the Durga Soft site for Azure Databricks. So there is not too much information about this course Azure Databricks. So can you please explain what exactly include in this one, and so that would be help for us in the Azure Databricks.
What information do you need it really?
The means for the course that what we are going to cover in this one, like Azure Databricks, what are the services, Delta Lakes, DLT pipelines, and for that I just wanted to we also I think require for the ADLS as well, is to mount the data. So these things.
Synapse basics? Yeah.
Yes, Synapse will take up obviously integration in data from the Synapse, integration data from the ADF. Also, we will see one scenario, integration of data from Oracle, Snowflake. All this is we'll see this. Okay, and basically integration means getting the data, getting integrated and getting the data here. How to get the data and how the data is loaded. After the data is loading, where do we store the data? And how to create the delta lakes, and the data, how the delta lake will receive the data. All this is the part we are going to see. The contents brochure is there on the obviously the web page of Durga Soft. If you want in detail, then you have to attend the class, then only you'll come to know what is it. Anything else required?
Yeah, apart from that one, is there, I mean, Azure Databricks is firstly built on top of a Scala, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So will there be any chance to get a chance to write a programs in a Scala?
Yeah.
Is there any?
Obviously.
We have any sort of like a modules that we can work on a Scala, or we can just integrate a Scala with a PySpark. Is there any such type of modules will be there in a classroom?
Yes, Scala, you can write it the code directly, and you can also have the PySpark. You can use it on the same.
The thing is, I wanted to know that is there any chance? I mean, is there any module that we can integrate a Scala notebook with a PySpark notebook?
Yes.
Is there any sort of a modules will be there in a class? I mean, a classroom, so that we can have
Yes.
a glance of it.
Yes. Yes. Definitely, we'll have a module on this.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So in this course, we're covering all this Scala or PySpark and SQL or only PySpark, sir?
No, we'll see the code in all the languages: Scala, R, Python, and SQL.
One more thing, even we can integrate with other online cloud platform, cloud vendors like AWS, GCP, Azure. Everything we can use the same thing, right, sir? Right, sir?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Definitely, we can use it.
Samir, will you cover Delta Lake, Data Lake,
Yes,
and
yes. That's what I told you. Delta Lake is also covered. Data
Cosmos
Lake is,
DB.
yes, Cosmos DB, Delta Lake, everything. Is
Azure SQL.
Yes.
What is AAS,
Based on this,
Azure
we can
Analytics
also
Service?
Basically,
Azure.
that is, yes, analytics service is nothing but it is a specially designed, service for analysis related issues. That is, you want to perform some analysis in the sense you want some predictive analysis, or you want to design some models. Okay, that is machine learning models. You have to design it. That you can design it basically.
Will you
sir,
cover
one more
this?
thing.
The part of it I can show you. The integration and basic usage I can tell you, but detail that does not cover our curriculum. Yes, tell me.
Yes, sir. Can we cover complex transformations, pipelines as well, sir, in this course?
Yes,
sir?
of course.
One more thing, sir. Even this Databricks can connect with on-premises databases
Yes.
as well.
Yes,
Okay.
of course. Yes, of course, it connects.
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
And Snowflake is part of this are different, or
It's
will you
different.
cover?
No,
Okay.
different. But I will show you the integration. I will show you how to go and configure the Snowflake, how to create a Snowflake account. Everything I will show you, and later on that integration is also will be seen there. Okay, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Next.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
Will this be helpful for us DP203 exam certification?
Yes, of
examination?
course it is helpful. Now you can write it with this.
Sure.
That will be that much input it will be given to you. That's it.
Okay, so as of now, the syllabus of the DPT03 is a vast, so everything will be covered here. So like starting from the data security implications. Will that
Yes,
be discussed?
data security implications we have not included, but I will see that it is included. It's not there currently.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you. Any other questions, ma?
Samir, what is the certification for Azure Databricks is different from Azure Data Factory?
Yes,
And,
it's different. It's different.
okay.
That has to do nothing with this the ADF. It is totally the certification level of ADB is different from the Azure Data Factory.
For each service, we have for each certification, like ADF one certification, ADB one certification, Cosmos DB one certification.
Not Cosmos DB. Not Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB. Yeah, Cosmos DB is there. SQL for one SQL, Azure SQL, you have another certifications. Level of certifications are different on this.
Azure Data Lake, we have.
No, that's not basically a separate Delta Lake. There is no certification on this Delta Lake. I don't think so.
But,
It is combined with Tell me. It's a technique basically. On the technique, you will not have any certification.
Okay. Data Lake, Delta Lake. Can you please one word? What is that one? What is the service?
Data Lake is the base layer. On a base layer called Data Lake, Delta Lake is designed upon a Data Lake.
Okay.
A Data Lake is the base layer. Upon a Data Lake, Delta Lake is designed.
For what purpose we can use both?
Data, for putting up the data. Putting up the data, which is, that is nothing but the more for there is formatted data which is used for specific kind of analysis, a specific kind of data will be kept into this delta lake. Anyways, I can explain you once we see that topic. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Yeah. What is it? Another
Thanks.
questions.
Thanks, Amit.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
And right now, only 10 a.m. or any other morning or evening for?
No, only ADB is only 10 a.m. There is no multiple batches. I told you.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
What is Scala actually?
Scala is basically a language.
Basically a language, but like what language, how it is written, using Java or Python or C or C++?
Java only.
Java.
Yes. Scala is developed on Java only.
Okay.
Yes, tell me, Ma. Any other question?
Sir, what kind of job profiles we can apply after this curriculum?
A bricks engineer. Okay. The Databricks engineer, you can write it, the profiles. Okay. And basically, the major task here as a Azure Databricks engineer will be getting the data from the various platforms data available, whether it is on the cloud or on the on-premises environment. And transformation, obviously, you will have the transformations operators are there, and you have many kind of algorithm, that is many kind of operators and transformation techniques we have it. So we transform the data accordingly, and once the data is transformed off, okay, so that is the ranking of the data, you can do it. Okay. And you can apply any kind of transformation technique. And once the data is loaded into the target, on the target, basically, the target is, let us say, data lake is your target. Now the data, the client requires to access the data from the delta lakes. So he wants the delta lakes. You don't want the data lake. So now what you need to do is the major technique or the major thing of is to design a delta lake, to create a delta lake upon a data lake. And now you will be providing the access for further analyst or data scientist to access the data from the delta lake directly, not from the data lakes. Getting my point?
Okay. And sir, is it also used in cloud migrations?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it possible to create the delta lakes in the ADF?
Of course. We can create the delta lakes.
So that requires again a programming language, or SQL is sufficient?
The concept is different in ADF. You don't require any programming language. You can create it. ADF basically menu driven. You will not have amount of coding there basically.
Okay. No coding at all in ADF.
No coding at all in ADF.
Okay.
Yeah. How much the certification will cost, the ADF certification?
I'm not sure, guys. You can just check on the web page.
So after completing this course, can we do certification for ADF or ADB?
You can do the certification for anything you require it, but after completing this ADB, you can go for certification of ADB.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. Any other questions?
Tomorrow's class link is going to be same, right?
Same link for 8 days. Okay. Same link will be there for 8 days, coming 8 days. After 8 days, the link will be changed. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for attending, all of you. Have a nice day. I'm just ending the class.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, good morning, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yes,
sir, you're all. Yes.
Okay, we'll start.
Sir, I have one question.
Please.
Yeah, if we use ADF and ADB, and we use both these for extract, transformation, and load.
Yes.
So why we used these two different if the work of these both are same?
See, basically, you'll have some drawbacks. To overcome the drawback, we use this. Few things, in ADF also few things lacks.
Is it automation in ADB?
There is nothing automated in ADB. There is nothing automated in ADB. You'll come to know very soon. Once we get into the subject, I can explain you in a better way. So how it is used, rather than me telling you, okay, in this at this juncture, okay. Wait for 2 to 3 days. You'll come to know. Once we get into the subject and start with the things, okay. Okay, guys. Let us start, everyone. Actually, there was some power issues since today morning, as it was heavy rain. So yesterday, there was some power issue, so could not join it. Okay, time here. Okay, guys. So let us start with this. So now, guys, I'm audible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll start up. So already. So now, guys, Azure Databricks. Okay, Azure Databricks. Whereas, guys, the Azure Databricks is nothing but, as you know, it is a service. It is a service. Guys, it is a service provided by, okay, it is a service provided by Microsoft. It is a service provided by Microsoft, okay, to perform or to carry out the process of what is it? ETL. What is it? ETL stands for? Yes, guys, the ETL stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading.
Loading.
Yes, it stands for extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading here. So here we have the ETL. So I'm writing the full form of the same. So extraction, okay, guys, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. This is the abbreviation of ETL. Okay, guys, so the Azure Databricks is nothing but a service provided by Microsoft. So, guys, this is not a software. It is, what is that? It is a service provided by Microsoft to perform the job of ETL, that which stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Whereas this process of extraction, transformation, and loading requires the following. What is it, guys? Source. Guys, what is it requires? Source. So now, guys, the source means what? Can you tell me, guys? Source means what?
Target.
Source, yes. Source means what? Not target. Source means what? A place where you can get the data, that is called as a source. A place where you can get the data is called as what? Source. Now, guys, I'm using a word here. What is that? Source of income. I'm using a word called, all of you, I'm using a word called source of income. So what does it means? We all have a source of income, don't you think so, guys? Hello?
They're getting money.
Yeah, that is nothing but a place from where we get the, yes, a place from where we get the money is nothing but is referred as what is that? Source of income. Am I right, guys? A place from where we get the money is nothing but referred as what? Source of income. Everyone has a different source of income. Am I right, guys? Yes, am I right? Everyone has a different source of income. So from that particular source, that is from the business, it can be from the job, or it can be from what is the agriculture income you can have. Okay, you can have what is that? Various type of income. So that is nothing but a place or a source from where we get the money is referred as source of income. In the same way, guys, in the same way, here you have source means nothing but a source of data. Source of what is that? Data. Source of data. Yes, guys. So what does it means? It means the source of data. That means a place where you can find the data. So yes, guys, tell me now, what is the sources of data we can have it? We can have the source of data. Getting my point? We can have the source of data from the following. What is that? From the files. We can get the data from the files. And what type of files we can have it, guys? Any idea? Yes, guys? Yeah, so we can have what is it? Excel. We can have what is it? CSV. Then we can have what is that? JSON. Yes, guys. JSON, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation File. Okay. Then we have what is that? Parquet file. Yes, very good. Parquet file. Okay. Parquet file. We can have what is it? Parquet file. And then we can have what is it? Avro file. Okay, guys. Then we can have Avro file, Parquet file. Else we can also have the text files. Okay. Apart from this, what are the other? Okay, etc. XML file. Guys, XML file. Then we can have what is it? HTML file. Okay. So etc. These are all, can you see here, guys? These are all called as what? Files. So we can say the files is nothing but this is a source of, this is the source of, guys, this is the source of getting the data. Am I right, everyone? Yes, everyone is following now? Yes. Please, guys, interact.
Yes, sir.
So it's
sir.
I always have an habit of interacting with the students and continue the class.
Yes.
So I want everyone to interact with me. Okay. So now, guys, so here we have what is that? These are the all sources of, these are all called as what? Sources of getting the data. Getting my point? Source of getting the data. Now, guys, apart from getting the data from the files, what is the other way to get the files? We can, get the data. That is nothing but database. Very good. That is nothing but called as what? Database. So now, guys, what is my database? A place where data is recorded in the form of a table. That is in the form of what? Table. That is called as tabular format. Okay. Table means what, guys? In the form of what is that? Rows and, yes, ma? Rows and columns. In the form of what? Rows and columns. Okay. So now, guys, rows and columns. The table is nothing but in the form of what? Rows and columns. Okay. Database is nothing but it is a place where information is recorded in the form of rows and columns. So what type of database or what are the products of database we can have, guys? We can have many products. So I'm using few. Oracle. Then we have what is it? SQL Server. Oracle, SQL Server, Informix, DB2. Okay. So etc. These are all the that is nothing but the type of databases. Okay. So now these are nothing but the sources. Apart from this, we can also get the data from what is that? Live streaming data. Live streaming data. Okay. So we can also get the data from the live streaming, and we can get the data from the database, and also we can get the data from the files. So guys, these are called as what is it, guys? These are called as Yes, these are called a source of getting the data. Okay, source of getting the data. So what do you mean by source of getting
What
data?
is live stream?
Yes.
Sir, what is live streaming data?
So basically, live streaming data is something, you know, you will have it. Are you aware of this share market? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So data which continuously you receive it. Okay. Data is continuously we receive it. Okay. Data streaming basically, you know, will be very continuous and it will change it on an ample of seconds. So that is called as a type of live streaming data. Okay. So anyways, I'll explain you what is the live streaming data and what are the basic, you know, things you'll have it in live streaming. How do you receive the live streaming data? Everything. Okay. I will explain you. Okay. Don't worry.
Yes. One question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, you have said that sources of data. You are saying that files, right? Excel and CSV, JSON, and etc. Right? So I think these are the types of files that we can get from the various sources, like what we can say SAP sources, and these are the. I'm thinking that the SAP sources and these are maybe called as the sources of data, right? Excel and CSV and JSON maybe are types of files that we can get from the various sources. Is it right?
Obviously. No?
Yes.
Yes, obviously. Various source means, or suppose you have some banking data is there.
Yeah.
Banking data they may store in some Excel file and send it to you.
Okay.
If not, bank already has some database. They can provide you the access to get connected and use their database. Okay. So this kind of basically source is not fixed. Getting my point? Source is not fixed. We can get any kind of data from any place. So there is no fixed pattern in that source. Okay. So now, guys, this is nothing but the source of data. Whereas from the source, guys, from the source, what we do, or we can say on the source, what we do, we perform the extraction. We perform what is that, guys? Extraction. Now, guys, forget about the subject. Tell me now, extract. What do you mean extract? I'm meaning the word, English word. Yeah.
Receiving.
That's receiving. Yes. It's not exactly receiving. Extract means what?
Taking out of something.
Right. Very good. So it is not exactly the receiving. It is nothing but getting it out. Okay, getting it out. So it will not be ready, but still we push in, isn't it or not? So that is called as an extraction. That is called as what? Extraction, or we can say forcibly getting it. So hence extraction is a process of getting the data. Extraction is a process of getting the data within the environment. So what environment you have it? I'm using the environment called, what is that? ADB. I'm using the environment called what is that? I'm using the environment called what? Or we can say Azure. Into the environment called what is that, guys? Azure. Azure will be the environment, guys, and ADB will be the service here. So ADB will be the service. Getting my point? All of you. Azure will be the environment, guys. Azure will be the environment, and we get it into this Azure by using the service called, what is it, guys? By using the service called what? ADB. So now, guys, the ADB will start here. ADB. The ADB will start here. That means the ADB will be starting up here. That means it will come into the action or into the picture from this particular point. That is called as what? Extraction. Can you see here? The first part will start for the that is something about extraction. And once the data is extracted, what happens here? The data will be made available into the Azure. Into what is that, guys? The data will be made available into what is that? Azure. So once the data is made available into the Azure, from the data available onto the Azure, what we perform? We perform the transformation. What do you mean transformation? Guys, transformation is nothing but it is the actual process. Guys, transformation is nothing but it is the actual process where we perform the that is nothing but data summarization, or where we perform the actual data summarization is nothing but called as what? Transformation. That means changing the format. Changing the format is called as what? Transformation. And once the transformation is completed, guys, what we do ultimately, once the transformation is completed, we load the transformed data. We load the transformed data into the target, which is called as what? Loading. Okay, loading in what? Loading into the destination. Destination or target is same, guys. Nothing else. Destination or the target is the same here. Okay, so now, guys, here you will have the same. What is that? In the process of extraction and transformation and loading, the first process is nothing but called as what? Extraction. And this extraction will be done by what is that? From the part of extraction, can you see here? From the part of extraction till the part of the loading will be done by what is that? ADB. Will be done by what is that, guys? ADB. So now ADB carries out, or ADB we can say it will be involved from here till here. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Please respond, everyone. Are you following or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are following.
Okay. So now only one person. What about rest of you guys? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are following.
Following, sir. Following.
So now this is nothing but the process of extraction, transformation, and loading. Now, guys, before we move ahead, I want to give you some good example so that you people understand it in a very better way. Okay, guys. I'll give you some data example, then you can understand it. Okay, guys, can you see here? I am using some data. Some data means what? Let us assume the data is there in the table. The data is there available in the table. All of you, the data is there available in the table. Guys, the data is there available in the table. So now what is it I wanted here is this data is available in a table, and this data is concerned to a supermarket. Let us assume product ID. Guys, all of you, product ID. So product ID is the product that is name of the column, and the second one is product name. And now the next one is, what is it? You have it, product ID is there, and next one is, what is it? Product name. So I'm using, what's it? Product ID, product name, and then you have, what is it? Product, guys, rate, product rate, and then we have, what's it? Product quantity sold. All of you following? Product ID, product name, product rate, product quantity sold, and what is it? I'm using DOS, that is date of sales. Guys, everyone, please respond. So am I clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, guys, here you have, what is that? Date of sales. So I'm using date of sales. Here you have it. Now, guys, the product ID, I'm using something like this, something like this. Then afterwards, I'm using the name here. So name, I'm using it as what? Yes, guys, the name, I'm using it as what? Something, okay. Tata Tea. Okay. So the next one is rate. So I'm using the rate here as 100. Okay, guys, the rate I'm using it as what? 100. Now, guys, the quantity sold. So I am using the 10. Okay, 10. That means 10 pieces. And the date of sale is, what is that you have it? Let us assume 28 slash, guys, 28/09/2022. That means on this particular day, this many products sold here. Okay, now I'm using it something again like this. Okay. Then we have, what is that? Matchbox. Okay, and then I'm having, let us assume here 50 rupees. Okay, 50 rupees, and quantity sold is 20. And now on which date it took place? The sale took place on 28. 09 2022. And then I'm having something like this. Soap, or we can say bathing soap. Or I'll use a shortcut. B soap means bathing soap. Okay, guys. And then we have, what is that? Let us assume 200. And now the quantity sold is, let us make it as, guys, 05. Quantity sold is 5. And now 28 09 2022. And now I'm entering one more row here, guys. And washing soap. So let us make it as washing soap as 50 rupees. And here make it as, what is that? 10. That's it. 10 pieces sold. 28, all of you. 09 2022. This is the data. Whereas, guys, this is the data of 28. That is 09 following. Now, guys, I'm using it the same one. Okay. That means here you can take this one, but my main intention is to change the date here. 29 29 29 and 29. Got it, all of you? So let us assume here you have a date of a supermarket, guys. Now the supermarket authorities or the management of the supermarket want the following. What is that? They wanted to know, first query, guys, concentrate well. The entire logic is here only. Now they want to know the following. What is that? They wanted to know, first of all, guys, what is that? Net sales of 28 09 2022, first query. And they want, after that, difference, guys, put it in mute mode. Difference in sales. Yes, please put it in the safe, that is mute mode. Somebody. Suresh Yadav, just put yourself in mute mode. Okay. Okay, guys, can you see here? Difference in sales. What is the difference in sales? Difference in sales for 2 days. Okay, then afterwards, the third query is, guys, the third query is expected sales. Expected sales for, what is it? 30th 09 2022. Am I right, guys? These are the three queries you have to solve it. Now, these are the three queries you received it, guys. These are the three queries. These are the three queries, guys. These are the three queries, guys. These are the three queries. These are the three queries which you received it, from the client. Getting my point? And you have to work on this. Okay, guys, you have to work on this as a data engineer. Tell me now, how do you move further? Guys, as a data engineer, how do you move further as soon as you get it? First of all, all of you, tell me, you understood this point or not?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is the main part. That means, first of all, you have to provide your client with a net sales amount, and then he wants the difference in the sales amount for 2 days. For what is that? For 2 days. That means, what are the 2 days? 28 and 29. He wanted to know, and he want you to even give it a report that whether the sales has increased or decreased. Okay. And now after that, he wanted you to calculate an expected sales for 30th 9. So what is the date today, guys?
29.
29. So do you have 30th now?
No.
No. So that means if you want to calculate or find out the expected sales for 30th, so it will be what? It will be type of future calculation or not?
Yes.
So that kind of analysis is called as what? Predictive analysis. It is called as what? Yes, guys? Predictive analysis. This is called as what?
Predictive analysis.
Very good. Predictive analysis. So whereas anything which is related to the future, it is called as what? Predictive analysis. And this predictive analysis will be done by the person called what? Data scientist. Will be done by the person called what, guys? Data scientist. Will be done by the person called what? Data scientist. It will be done by the data scientist. And now who can find out this above two queries? These two queries, that is net sales amount and the difference. This can be calculated or presented by a person called data analyst. Getting my point, all of you? Data analyst. And this is also will be done by the data analyst. Yes, guys, data analyst. Getting my point? So whereas the person called data analyst will perform these two queries, that means the net sales amount, he will present it, and difference also he will present it. Whereas, guys, the expected sales amount will be calculated, and the same is presented by what? Data scientist. Now, whether it is data scientist or the data analyst, do they require the data or not? Tell me, please, all of you.
Yes, we need a data, and now
it is our responsibility to provide them the data. As what? As a data engineers. Now here our job starts. Data engineers.
Okay.
Data engineer. As a data engineer, our job starts here, guys. How does our job start? Now, guys, so first of all, you have a data. Now you have a data. Now, guys, to find out the net sales amount, do you require, see, what is that I'm doing? This is called as decision of extraction. We are doing it. I'm taking a decision before the data is extracted here. So guys, tell me now, before you extract the data, can you see here, before we extract the data, guys, first of all, we need to find out for my output, do we require the product ID is required, guys? Can anyone tell me?
No. Yes.
Not required. So do you require the name of the product?
No.
No, because you don't want to find out the net sales product wise, product ID wise. I don't want. I want what is the totally, what is the net sales of 28/9/2022. So now, guys, tell me, so we require the product rate is required or not?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can say that the process of extraction is started here. So we require, what is that, guys? Extraction, all of you. Extraction is started. And the extraction, once the extraction is started, guys, so we require to extract, guys, we require to extract the column. What is the column we require to extract it? First of all, that means we require to extract the column called what? Product rate. I'm writing a shortcut, guys. Shortcut, you can write the full name. Don't get confused because the space will not be sufficient here further. So that's the reason I'm writing as a product rate. Do you require the product quantity sold, guys?
Yes, we require.
Yes. What about rest of you guys? Product quantity. Yes, guys. Product quantity.
Yes, it is required.
Sold. That's it. Do you require the date of sales or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we require date of sales. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Now, guys, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, how many columns I have extracted here? Can you tell me, guys?
The 3 columns.
Only 3 columns. So that means picking up the required columns. Picking up the required columns is called as what? The process of what? Extraction. It is called as the process of what is it, guys? Extraction. So picking up the required columns, out of the list of all the columns. From the list of what? All the columns is called as the process of what, guys? Extraction. So now once the extraction is done, now the process of transformation is required. Now, guys, what is a transformation I require to tell me now? Transformation means what? Actually, this is the process where we summarize the data or we change the data according to the requirement. What is my requirement? My requirement is finding out the net sales amount. Finding out what is that? Net sales amount. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Okay, my requirement is to find out the net sales amount. So for that, For that, what is it we need to do? So here we have to move further in this way. That means to find out the net sales amount, I have to perform some that is called as what? Calculations. Some calculations. Getting my point? I require some calculation. So what is the calculation? Tell me now. Guys, what is the calculation? Product rate. What is the product rate? 100 rupees. And product sold, quantity sold is what? 10. So that means 100 into 10 means what? 100 into 10 means what?
1000.
Yes, very good. So 100 into 10 is what? 1000. Now tell me again, 50 into 20 means what, guys?
1000.
This is also 1000. Everyone is following or not? If you have some issue, please let me know, guys. If you're not following, I'll repeat it once again.
Yes, following.
Okay. So, guys, here you have it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1000. And next one is also, what is it? You have it, 1000. Okay, next one is also 1000 here. And now tell me, what is the next thing you have it? 200 into 5 means what?
1000.
This is also 1000.
1000.
Yes, very good. So here also you have 1000. Now tell me, again, your 50 into 10 means what?
500.
Very good. Yes, very good. 500. So now, guys, tell me the total calculation. Now calculate it. That means sum it. So 3,500. 3,500. Am I right, guys? 3,500. Now,
Yes,
guys,
sir.
the transformation is done. The data is ready. Now, what is it I have to do is prepare the data to load. And now, in the preparation of data to load, do we require the product rate here? For calculation, till calculations, I require the product rate. Now, I don't require the product rate, so leave it. Product quantity sold is required, guys. That is also not required for me right now because calculation already I've done. This is the process we do in transformation, guys. So that means I will create a table with a new columns. I will create a table with a new column. What is that new columns? I will create net sales. Can you see here? What's that? Net sales amount. Guys, the first is what I prepare it. I prepare a column with a name called net sales amount and I write this DOS. DOS stands for what? Date of sales. Now net sales, I'll write it here. Can you see here, guys? 3,500. And date of sales is what is it, guys? Tell me now. 28. Yes. 09 2022. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes. So
Yes,
that
sir.
means the 4 lines data I have made it into how many lines here, guys? 1 line. Now the entire data is changed. Oh, that is a column name. Now first one is the column name. Okay. First one is the column. That means I've created a new table and I've made it. Okay, guys. So now here you have it. Now, guys, another one. The next one. The same. This now tell me. Here you have the same, na? So the values will also be the same. So that means I can say 3,500. Again, I'll calculate it here. The second one is the same data. Na? I've copied the same. Simply I've changed the date here. 29/09/2022. Now, guys, totally like this. So now ultimately this particular data, whatever we have it, I will be loading into the target. I'll be loading into the target. Getting my point? Loading into the target. This is nothing but my TRG. Target means TRG. Okay, guys? TRG is nothing but called as what? Target. All of you clear now? Yes, guys? This is the process we have it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this entire process, I have written it here. Can you see here, guys? The same process I have written it here. Okay. So now, guys, just a minute. I'm just pulling that up. Can you see here, guys? All of you? Extraction. That means what is happening here? Extraction. That means pulling in. Their source of data extraction. So this is the type of extraction we have done it. Can you see here? This is nothing but the extraction. So the same thing I have done it, the extraction. Then afterward, what's the transformation? So I have done the transformation like this. See here, this is all is called as what? Transformation, guys. This all is called as what? Transformation. This entire thing. Can you see? This thing is called as what? Transformation, this part. And ultimately the transformation is done. The data is here. This data I'm going to load it into the destination. Now, guys, clear all of you? What is an extraction? What is a transformation? And what is a loading? Is everyone ready, guys? Yes, is
Yes,
everyone
sir.
clear with this?
Yes.
So this is how
Yes.
we perform the process of extraction, transformation. And yeah, please go ahead, ma.
This is Harika here.
Yeah, Harika, tell me.
In this extraction, I could see two columns if I am right. This P rate and PQS. You will be creating two columns for there.
Yes, two column. No, yeah, net sales amount and date of sales.
So
Date of sales. Date of sales is already there, ma. Date of sales is already there, and the extraction only it is there. So I've just taken up here, and now only one column I have declared it new column. That is called as what? Net sales amount.
No, I got the point with this transformation, but we're coming to extraction. I am stuck. We'll be creating two columns with product rate and PQS is
out of the table. The table has how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns I have it now. Out of the 5 columns, I'll be pulling in only 3 columns. Getting my point? I'll be pulling in what is it? 3 columns: product rate, product quantity sold, and date of sales. Because product ID I don't require, and the product name I don't require it.
Got it.
That's it. Okay. So now, guys, this is the thing we have it. Now, after this, let us already you know, guys. Already you know. Now, guys, already you know, all of you, what are the sources of data we have it, and what is the extraction? What is it? Extraction, transformation, and loading. So I think everyone is clear with this concept, guys. Extraction, transformation, and loading. So, and this is nothing but the sources of data we have it. So now, guys, let us start with here. Okay, let us start with the next process. What is that? Let us see it here. Okay, let us see it here, all of you. Now, guys, as we know that, guys, these are the sources of data we can have it. Database or whatever it may be, we have it, the live streaming data, etc., etc. Okay, so now, guys, let us move further. So let us see what is a big data. Yes, guys, what is my big data? Yes, guys, what do you mean big data? Big data is nothing but the big data is actually, what is it? Huge data. The data in the that is nothing but data, massive amount of data or huge data is referred as what is that? Big data. Getting my point? So now, guys, the big data is nothing but the massive amount of data. So that means we already know what are the sources. What are the sources of data? Tell me now, guys. The sources of data is what is that? We can get the data from what? Files. We can get the data from what is that? Databases. And we can get the data from what is that? Live streaming data, whatever you have it. So all this comes under what is that? Big data only. Getting my point? Big data only. That is, big means what? Huge. Data means what? Information. So we can say huge information or a very massive amount of information is called as what? Big data. Now, guys, this big data, okay, this big data can be or divided into 3 different categories here. What is the 3 categories here, guys? The first one is called, very good. It is called as what? Structured. It is called as what? Structured data. It is called as what? Semi-structured data, guys. It is called as what? Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data. And then again, we have what is that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and what is it? You have it? Unstructured data. Yes, what is that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and what is it? You have it? Unstructured data. So structured data means what, guys? The data, just now I showed you, guys. Just now I showed you this data. This is called as what? Can you see? This is called as what? Structured data. This type of data. That means the data which is already there in a type, in the form of what is that? Rows and columns. The data which is already there in the form of what is that? Rows and columns is called as what, guys? Structured data. It is called as what? Structured data. This data is called as what, guys? Structured data. This is nothing but the structured data. Okay, guys. So next one, after this, we have a semi-structured data. So what do you mean by semi-structured data, guys? Yes, all of you following or not? Please answer my question. Yes, what is semi-structured data, or what is that is what is a structured data, guys? Everyone know now? Structured data is nothing but a data which is recorded in the form of a rows and columns is called as what? Structured data. Whereas what is my semi-structured data, guys? Semi-structured data is nothing but the data which is recorded, guys, the data which is recorded, all of you, the data which is recorded in the form of, what is that? Semi-structured. That means in the form of JSON files. Okay, JSON files, comma. Then we have the data recorded in what? HTML files, or we can say the data recorded in the XML files. All this is called as what? Semi-structured data. So I'll just give you one example for the JSON file. So yeah, the things will be clarified for you. Suppose I am writing the same thing. Can you see here, guys? PID, that means product ID. And then we have what's it? Product name, P name. And then we have what? Product rate, P rate. And then we have what's it? Okay, just 3 columns is enough for me. Now, guys, the same thing I want to write it in the JSON. How it will be written? The data in the JSON will be recorded, that is will be stored in the form of that is nothing but key value pair. This is called as a key value pair. Can you see here? So the data will be recorded like this. Can you see? If you want to record it, PID is equal, sorry, not exactly is equal to PID. You have hyphen, then you will have what is it? 433, comma, guys. Again, you will have what is that? Again, you will have that P name. What is it? You have it P name. That is product name. Then you will have the colon. What is the value you have it, guys? Tell me now. Tata T. It's a Tata T. So just put it here. This also the data will be recorded in which manner here? In the form of what is that? In the quotes. Again, the comma. What is the next thing you have it? Tell me now. Yes, guys. What is the next value you have it? P rate. That is product rate. And here you will have a colon. What is the product rate, guys? Tell me now. It is 100. So now, guys, once you have entered the entire value, now the data will be closed. The braces will be closed. This is called as a key value pair. It is called as what? Key value pair or an item. So this kind of data is called as what, guys? Semi-structured data. So the data is recorded with the data which is recorded in the form of a JSON file, or else in the form of a HTML file, or else in the form of the XML file is referred as or is called as, guys, is referred as or is called as, what is that, guys? Is referred as or is called as, what is that? It is referred as or called as what? Semi-structured data. Yes, guys, everyone is okay? Yes, please come out with your reply, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
now,
sir.
yeah. So now, guys, once this is done, now what is the next process? Next type of data you have to tell me now? Unstructured data. Unstructured data means what, guys? Unstructured data means what? The data which we see. Yeah, the data which we see in our mobile phones, that is called as what? Photos. Okay. Photos, guys, videos, photos.
PDF.
Okay. Various type of, voice recordings, etc. All this is called as what, guys? Unstructured data, which will not have any kind of a structure. Whereas across the globe, guys, across the globe, 80%, guys, what is that? 80% of the data you will get it in unstructured data only. 80% of the data you will get it, what is that? Unstructured data. That means out of the total big data, out of the total amount of big data, out of the total amount of big data, guys, out of the total amount of the big data, 80% of the data, guys, what is that? 80% of the data you will get it as, what is that? Unstructured data only. And out of only 20% only you will have, what is that? Semi-structured and structured data. Out of the, yes, guys, out of the that is nothing but the data, what is that you have it? Out of the only 20% you will have, what is it? Structured and semi-structured data. So this is nothing but the type of big data. Clear, all of you? Yes, guys? Yes, I want an answer.
Yes.
So now this is nothing but the type of big data. Now guys, so we already know what are the sources of big data. Tell me now, what is the sources of big data? We can get the big data in the form of what? Files. We can get the big data in the form of what? Database tables. We can get the live streaming data. Guys, okay. But my question is, from where we get this big data? From where we get this big data? Yes, guys. From where we get this big data? Yes, we get the big data from the following tentative sources. So what is that sources? I'll write it here. Source of big data, all of you. Guys, what is that source of big data? Source of big data. So the first source is called as what? The first source is called as banking applications. The first source is called as what? Banking application. Okay, banking applications. The first source of getting the big data is what is that? Banking applications. The data which we get it from the banking applications. And what is it? You have it, social networking sites. Social networking sites. So what do you mean by social networking sites? We all know now. What is it? Facebook. All of you, Facebook. Then we have what's it? Twitter.
WhatsApp.
Okay, we have what's it? Twitter. Okay. Then we have what's that? We have one more, Instagram. Okay, then what is the another thing we have it? Etc. WhatsApp, etc. etc. So the data, the data which we get it, from the social networking sites. The data which we get it from the social networking sites is referred as the big data. The data which we get it from the banking applications is called as the big data. And then third one, what is it? You have it, IoT sensors. Okay, so these are the sensors which measures the pressure. That is nothing but the pressure, gas, and wind speed, etc. These are all called as what? IoT sensors. Okay, so then we have what's that? The fourth one we have, apart from this, the IoT sensors, we have what is that? Human generated data. Human generated data. So what is my human generated data? The data which is generated by you and me. So generally the human generates the data in the form of what is that? Yes guys, Excel files, database, etc. That is called as what? Human generated data. And apart from the human generated data, guys, we also have a data called what is it? Machine generated data. So what is my machine generated data? The data which is generated by a machine. That is nothing but, suppose you have the CT scan machine is there, your ECG machine is there. Okay guys, CT scan machine, ECG machines, these are all the machines which generates a large amount of data. So whereas we can get the big data from the following, that means from the following major source, and from these sources, guys, from these sources we can get the data in what? We can get the data in the form of what? Files. We can get the data in the form of what is it, guys? Database. We can get the data in the form of what? Files, database. Else we can get the data in the form of what is that? Or it can be also be the live streaming data. It can also be what is it? Live streaming data. Okay guys, clear all of you now? Yes, everyone. That means all. Yes, all. That means all. I have just put the arrow mark, means it's not only the banking applications. You can get the data from all these sources, either in the form of files, else in the form of a database, or it can be live streaming data, whatever we have it. Getting my point, everyone? Yes. Yes. So this is nothing but the type of data we can have, sources of big data. So guys, that's it about this thing. So any questions for me? You can go ahead now. Please.
Yes, Samir, for files, Parquet and Avery. Okay. For hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, for Parquet and Avery, can we give the dot Parquet and a dot Ivory? Then it is a Parquet file, Avery file, right? Or we can download any software for these files for saving.
Basically, the Parquet file or the Avro files or whatever we have it, For these are the inbuilt. You need not basically create them, and these are not human readable files. These are only used to carry the data. These are only used to carry the data. But the lightweight files, most lightweight files are nothing but the Avro and Parquet files. Okay, so basically this is the thing which we used to carry the data, but it's not at all human readable. That is the fact. You'll have it in this.
Okay, that means we don't save any data
No.
data extension file.
No.
Okay, where we use Parquet file, like just I want to know.
Whenever you want to carry the data from data lake to delta lake.
Okay. Okay, then we are using this kind of.
Then we use the Parquet file.
Every file also same, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Anyways, apart from this, we also will see how exactly these Avro files and Parquet files, what are the other uses of it, also we'll see it.
Okay, sure. Okay, thanks. Yeah,
thank you. Guys, this is nothing but the entire whatever the thing we have it. So from the next class, that is from tomorrow, we'll start up with the direct ADB. What are the functionalities of ADB? How does it works? All those things we'll see. At the components of ADB, what are the things we require? We'll see it from tomorrow onwards. Okay, guys? Clear, all of you?
Yeah, sir. I have one more doubt, sir. Last question, sir. If I have a duplicate data in that product ID, suppose if you are transforming the same data, will it be filter and it will go, or the same the data will be going?
You have to filter it first, then you have to take it.
Okay.
I have given you only one line. It does not mean that everything includes it. It means you have to do that as a data engineer. That is your job. How many that is transformations is required, whether you require to use the that is first of all the deletion of the duplication and changing the positions. All this is your job. Basically, you have to ready the data, you have to make the data ready, and then we have to send it to the data engineers. The data engineers, the data analyst or the data scientist, simply he will take and perform the job. That means behind the screen, we are the person who do the entire process. These person simply they'll report it. That's it. Okay.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, hi. Good morning. Tell me.
What are the topics we are going to cover in this course?
Topics means you mean to say the contents?
Yeah, content.
What are the contents mentioned there in this web page? You can go to the Durga soft web page and find out this. We are going to cover it.
And do we are using any programming language?
Yes, of course, we are using the programming language. We will use the program Python, mostly the Python.
Okay. But I don't know Python.
If you don't know the Python, there are some basic classes. I'll take it up on Python also. So you can just go ahead with that. So if that is not sufficient for you, you can take a separate this thing for Python.
Okay, thank you.
The most importantly, we use the Python and SQL language. That's the thing. I'll give you the basics of Python and SQL. Don't worry. Yeah, tell me, please.
Yeah, Samir, we have write the code in ADB. Okay, right?
Yes.
But in ADF, we can drag and drop, and some of the codes we can write in ADF. Okay. And the ADB, ADF, both are development tools, right?
Yes, both are development tools.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you for attending. I'm just holding up the class here. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay, guys?
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So now we were just looking into this ADB. So I'll just brief up once, refresh it once before we move further. So guys, Azure Databricks Okay, so what is this? Azure Databricks. So whereas in short, we call it as the ADB. In short, we call it as what? ADB. That is Azure Databricks. Wherein, what is Azure Databricks, guys? Can you just tell me? Guys, let us make the session interactive. Just try to interact with me. So what is ADB? ADB stands for Azure Databricks, and this is a service. It is a service. It's not a software. It is a service provided by what? Provided by Microsoft. Provided by the Microsoft. And why this service is provided, guys? Can you tell me? To perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. That we, in short, we call it as what? ETL. That we call it as what? ETL. All of you following? Yes, guys. All of you following or not?
Yes.
Answer the question. So ETL stand for what? Extraction, transformation, and the next one is loading. So the ADB stands for what? Extraction. There is a ADB stands for Azure Databricks, and it is used as a service. It is used as a service. It is used as a service to perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. Now, guys, this process called extraction, transformation, and loading requires, what is that, guys? Can you tell me? It requires the following. What is that? It requires, already we have discussed yesterday, just I'm brushing up to move further. Yes, guys, the process of ETL requires, what is that? Source. And the next one is called as what? We require what? Source and the target. Source and the target. Whereas source is nothing but, it is also called as, for your convenience, I can say source of data. It is also called as what? Source of data. Wherein the target is referred as, what is that, guys? The target is referred as destination. The target is called as what? Destination. Whereas between the source and the target, between the source and the target, and to apply the process of, what is that? ETL. The ETL is performed between the source and the target. So it is just like extraction means a process of picking up the data. Transformation is nothing but just changing the data according to the required requirement, and then loading the same. Whereas for this ETL, we are using the service called what? ADB, which is provided by the Microsoft. Okay, everyone, it is provided by what? Microsoft. So hence, between the source and the target, between the source and the destination, we apply, what is that? ETL. That is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. So now guys, what is source of data? Source of data is nothing but a place where you can find the data. Guys, everyone. So a place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data is referred as, what is that? Source of data. It is referred as the source of data. So what are the different type of source of data we can have? Already we have discussed yesterday, guys. I want an answer from you guys. Yes, everyone. What is the source of data? Yes, guys.
Banking, human generated, machine generated, social networking data.
Okay, that's fine. Source of data is nothing but a place where you can find the data. A place where you can find the data is called as what? Source of data. So whereas the source of data can be, we can find it in what? In the form of the files. That is called as what? Data files. And these files can be various types. Am I right, guys? These files can be various types. What is that? That is called as what? Excel files. Excel files. And then we have what is it? CSV files. Excel files, CSV files, and then we have what? JSON files. That is called as what? JavaScript object notation files. And then we can have, what is that? We can have the XML files. All of you, am I audible, guys? XML files. Then we can have HTML files. Etc.
Parquet files.
Parquet files, Avro files, etc. etc. Anyways, so these are all the various type of files we have it, where we can find the data, which can be source of data. That is nothing but the source of data. Data means what, guys? Information. Data is nothing but what is it? Data, call it as data is nothing but information. So I'm writing in short info. So whereas the data is nothing but information. So we can find the information in the following. What is it? Files. So what is information? Based on the information only, the whole process, the business process runs off. Am I right, guys? That is the whole business process runs on. Whole business process runs on the data. That is called as what? Information. So information, we can find it in what? In this following type of files. Whereas apart from this, we can also find the data in what is that? Databases. Yes, guys, am I right? Databases. So what is database? A place where actual data is recorded in the form of a table. Database is nothing but a place where data is recorded in the form of what is that? Tables. So what do you mean by table? A table is the correct collection of what is that, guys? Rows and, yes, everyone, rows and columns. Am I right, guys? Rows and columns. A table is the collection of what? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Whereas the database is the another place where you can find the data, which is nothing but called as a source of data. Yes, guys, everyone, source of data. Whereas the source of data, we can have the following. What is the databases? We can have what? Oracle database. We can have what is that? Oracle database. And then we can have what's that? SQL Server database, etc. So these are the type of databases we can have. Apart from having the data, guys, apart from having the data within the Excel files or within the files and the database, what is the other source of getting the data? Can you tell me, guys? Yes, guys, what is the other source of getting the data? Live streaming data. That is called as what? Live streaming data. We can also get the data from the live streaming source. Okay, that is nothing but the live streaming data, where we can get the data. That is called as what? Live streaming data. So these are the various sources of getting the data. Now, guys, apart from this, I'm just brushing up this. We have not moved it further. So yesterday, whatever we have discussed, guys. So, okay, I'm just making off. So now, guys, once this is nothing but the source of data. So what we do from the source, we pick up the data by using the process called extraction, transformation, and loading. And this process of extraction and transformation and loading, now we are going to perform by using what is that? The service called what? ADB. What is that? Azure Databricks. Okay, guys. Then afterwards, what is that you have it? Yes, guys. After that, we can have what is that? Various source of getting the big data. That means I can say various source of getting the big data. So what do you mean big data, guys? Can you tell me, guys, what do you mean big data? Big data is nothing
Huge
but
information.
huge information. Yes, that is nothing but huge information. Massive amount of information is called as what? Big data. So we can have the following. That means we can get the massive amount of data in the form of what is that? Or that is nothing but we can get it from what? Social networking sites. The social networking sites. Then we can also get the data from what is that? Machine generated data. Machine generated data. And then we can also have what is that? Human generated data. Now, guys, apart from the human generated data, machine generated data, We can also get the data in what? Yes, guys, banking applications. We can also get the data from what? Banking applications. Okay. Then afterwards, we can also get the data from what is it? IoT sensors. Etc. These are all the sources of getting the big data. And from these sources, we can get the data either in the form of what is that, guys? Tell me now. Either in the form of what? Databases, else in the form of what? Files. From all these sources, we can get the data from what? Either in the form of what? From all these sources, that is nothing but from all these sources, we get the data either in the form of databases, files. Okay. So these are the various types of getting the, that is nothing but data. We can get the data from the following. That's it. Now, guys, when it comes to this, now we have extracted the data. Now, what is the next process you have it? Let us see here the storages. So what is the storages? Storages in AD, that is so storages in Azure. Now we'll discuss the storages in Azure. So now, guys, what do you mean storages? Tell me now, what do you mean storages, guys? Storages is nothing but a place where you can store the data. Guys, what happens here? All of you just have a look here. I'm explaining you. Suppose I have accessed the data from an Excel file. Okay, access the data from the Excel file. After the data is picked up by what? Who is picking up the data, guys? Here, who is picking up the data? ADB will pick the data. ADB will pick the data. That is called as what? A service called Azure Databricks. After the data is picked up, the data need to be stored into the Azure storages. Into what is that? Azure storages. The data need to be picked up in what is that? Azure storages. So here, the data need to be stored into the Azure storage. That means from the Excel file, we pick up the data and store into the Azure storages. We pick up the data from the CSV and store into the Azure storages. We pick up the data from the JSON and store into the Azure storages. And we can pick up the data from the Oracle database and store into what is that? Azure storages. So these Azure storages, guys, is commonly used by all the services. What are the services you have? Can you tell me, guys? What are the services you have it? Tell me now. The first service is what? We are looking into this ADB. That means the storages is commonly used. The storages are commonly used by all the services. Those services are nothing but called as what? ADB is the first service, and we can also use the ADF, and we can also use the Synapse. These are all the services, guys. These all services can use the common storages. What are the common storages we have it? Azure storages. So now we'll discuss the Azure storages. Okay. So now, guys, in Azure, to store the data, we require the following storages, or we have the following storages. Those are nothing but, what is that? The first one is called as what? The first one is called as what? Azure, guys, blob storage. The first one is called as what? Azure blob storage. Everyone, the first one is called as what? Azure blob storage. Okay. Okay. What is it? Azure blob storage is the first type of storage we have it. So now the second storage we have, what is it? Azure Data Lake Gen 1. Azure Data Lake Generation 1. Then next one, what is it? You have it. Yes, guys. So here you have it, the same one, that is called as third one, which is nothing but which is called as the Gen 2. Whereas, guys, the Gen 1 is going to retire in 2024. So hence the entire data, whatever you have it currently even, so that is being migrated from the Azure Data Lake Gen 1 to what is that? Gen 2. Apart from this, guys, we can also have the data. We can also store the data in the Azure in the form of what is it? Azure, guys, SQL database. This is a storage. Now, guys, the fifth one is, what is it? You have it, Azure Elastic Pool. Elastic Pools. And the next one you have, what is that? Azure Synapse Okay, Azure Synapse, and the next one, what is it? You have it Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB, that is called as Cosmos DB, where it is called as what? NoSQL database. Where it is called as what? NoSQL database, which is nothing but where we don't use the SQL commands. So this is nothing but the NoSQL database. So right now, this is a very trending one. NoSQL database, Azure Cosmos DB, which stands for what? NoSQL database, which we call it as what? NoSQL database. So these are all called as what? Storages. So guys, we pick up the data. Guys, we pick up the data from the source, either in the form of files we have it. We may get it in the form of files. We may get it in the form of database, or whatever the live streaming data you have it. We get it into the Azure by using the ADB, that is called as Azure Databricks, and we store the same into the Azure storages. Into what is that? Azure storages. We store the data into what is that? Azure storages. We store the data in what is that? Azure storages. So that means Azure stores the data first. Now guys, everyone is following or not? Please tell me now.
Yes, following.
Yes.
Yes, one or two guys. What about rest of you? If you want, I can repeat it once again.
Yes,
guys.
following.
Yeah, if you want, I can repeat it once again for you or give you some example. If you're not following, please let me know. Somebody, please. Yes, guys. See, this is nothing but, suppose you're going to a supermarket, all of you. Suppose you're going to a supermarket and you have picked up some goods, some vegetables you have taken and you build it. Now, guys, you get those vegetables from the supermarket, and after you get those vegetables, where do you keep it? Tell me now. Tell me now, where do you keep it? You bought the vegetables from a supermarket and you just bought the same to your home. And once the vegetables you got it, where do you store it? Tell me now. In the refrigerator. In the refrigerator. So refrigerator is what? Is your storage area for the vegetables. Am I right, guys? That means from the supermarket, you're picking up the data, and after you get from the supermarket, you're picking up the vegetables. And once the vegetables is picked up and you purchased it and you bought it, you get the same and store it into your refrigerator. So now, guys, refrigerator is called as what? Your home storage. Am I right, guys? Your home storage for vegetables. Your home storage for what is that? Vegetables. In the same way here also, we get, like vegetables, we get the data here. And we pick up the data. Okay, we pick up the data using the service called ADB. Using the service called, what is it, guys? ADB. And we store the data ultimately towards that storages. That is called as what? Azure storages. So what are the commonly used Azure storages? These are all called as the commonly used Azure storages. These all are called as what, guys? Commonly used Azure storages. Commonly used Azure storages. It is common for ADF. It is common for ADB. It is common for Synapse. Any service you use it, it is common. So we can store the data in the following. Okay, guys, everyone is clear now? Yes, am I right, guys? Everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now, next one. After this, what is it? We have to know the components. Yes, guys, what is the problem? Just put it in the mute mode, somebody. Components in ADB. Components in ADB. Just put it yourself in mute mode, somebody. So components in ADB. So now, guys, what do we make components in ADB? These are the components which is required to initiate the process. What we are doing? We are picking up the data, no, guys? We are picking up the data from the source. What is that source? This is the source, you have it. The source, you're picking up the data and getting into the Azure storages. So to get this data, to perform the entire process, until the time you send it to the destination, till the time you send it to what is that? Destination, Till the time you send it to the destination, guys, we require to use the following components in ADB. What are the components? The first component here, guys, is called as what? Yes, the first component is called as what? Pipeline. Pipeline. So what is pipeline? Pipeline is nothing but it is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. It is responsible for orchestration of data from the source to the target. That is called as what? Pipeline. Orchestration of data from the source to the target. That means to get the data from the source to the target, we require to load the data into a data pipeline, that is called as what? Data pipeline. So here we can say data pipeline. The full name of this, what is that? Data pipeline. Whereas, let us try to understand what is a pipeline. Yes, guys, what is a pipeline? Let us try to understand it. Guys, you have an overhead tank. From that overhead tank, you get the water. How do you get the water? Tell me now. Yes, guys, in your tab, you get the water now. You have an overhead tank, and from that overhead tank, you get the water into your tab. How do you get it? Can anyone tell me, guys?
Through pipes we get.
Exactly, through the pipes we get it. So we can say that the pipe is a source of getting the water from the overhead tank to your tap. So we can say that the pipe is responsible for flow of water from the overhead tank to your tap. Destination is your tap. Destination is your tap. And overhead tank is your what? Source of water. Getting my point? In the same way here also, we have the same, that is nothing but the pipeline is responsible for flow of data. That is from the source to the destination. Here you will have a pipeline. So I am just picking up. Now, guys, I'll just make it off here. Can you see here? This is a pipeline. So here what happens? The data is available in the source. From the source using this, can you see it? From the source, here you will have what is that? Using the ADB, using this ADB, we design a pipeline. We design a pipeline here. I'm just writing it. We design a pipeline. So that means we design a pipeline. So under this pipeline, guys, under this pipeline, by the ADB, by the service called ADB, uploads the data or loads the data into a pipeline. So hence this pipeline is called as what, guys? Data pipeline. It is called as what, guys? Data pipeline. This pipeline is called as what? Data pipeline. This is called as what? Data pipeline. Getting my point, all of you? This is called as what? Data pipeline. So data pipeline or a pipeline, whatever you have it, it is nothing but it is responsible for flow of data from the source to the target. And where does the pipeline ends, guys? Here the pipeline ends. Before the destination, the pipeline ends here. All of you clear now? So between this pipeline, the entire data flows off. Yeah, guys, you following or not? Please answer my question or answer me so that I will, yeah. So now between this nothing, that is nothing but between the source and the target, the data will flow within a data pipeline. That is called as what? Data pipeline. Here, all of you. Now, guys, here, can you see? The next one is called as the mount points. Mount points. What is mount points? Mount points are those which creates the connection between, okay, the storages and the pipeline, or we can say the storages and the pipeline connection string, that is storages and the pipeline. Now, guys, the data is stored here. For example, guys, you want to meet the Chief Minister of Telangana. Yes, guys, we require to meet the Chief Minister of Telangana. You have gone to the Chief Minister's office. So now once you have been there, can you go and meet him directly? Yes, guys, please tell me. Can you go and meet him directly?
No, we cannot.
No.
So who is that required there?
Receptionist.
Okay, so you will go and meet the person called, what is that? Personal assistant of the chief minister. Isn't it or not? You have to go and meet the PA of the chief minister. And PA creates that is nothing but PA asks you that is nothing but use and necessity why you want to meet the chief minister. So now he takes up the entire information from you and he passes on to the chief minister. And ultimately, when time comes, he connects you to the chief minister. So now, what is that PA is doing? The PA is mediating and creating the relationship between you and the chief minister. Am I right, guys? Yes, am I right, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
So here also the mount points. Mount points create the relationship. Now, guys, here you have a storage. What is the storage? You have it. Here you have a storage. What is the storage? Can you see here? You have a storage here. So let us make it as blob storage. Here you have blob storage. Okay, what is it? You have it? Azure blob storage. So I'm just making it off. Azure blob storage. What is it? You have it? Azure blob storage. Now, guys, here you have the Azure blob storage. So there, what it will do between this Azure blob storage and the data pipeline, it has to create. We have to have a relationship. So for that, to create the relationship between both of them, we use the mount points. We use, what is that? Mount points. Mount points. We use, what is that? Mount points. Everyone is okay? Mount points. So mount points creates the relationship between the data pipeline of ADB and the storage. So storage. This storage gets the data from what? From here. From this storages, we get the data and store into the blob storage or whatever the storage you have. So from between the blob storage and the data pipeline, the relationship is maintained or created by, what is that? Mount points. What is that? Mount points. Whereas the third component of the ADB here yes, guys, these are called as, what is that? Data sets. But here we also call it as the data frames in Python. Okay, data frames. Data frames are nothing but these maintains the structure of the data. Structure of the data. So what do you mean data set? Generally in some other languages, guys, we may call it as a table. All of you know now what is a table? Yes, guys, what do you mean by table? Can you tell me, guys, what do you mean by a table? Yes, guys, can I get an answer from you? Yes? What is a table?
It's a combination of rows and columns.
Very good. So that is nothing but a table is nothing but it is the collection of, what is it, guys? Rows and what is that? Columns. A collection of rows and columns. That is nothing but a table. Whereas this kind of a table, here we refer it as, what is that, guys? Here we refer it as what? Data set. Okay, or the data frames. Data set, or what is that? Data frames in ADB Python. Getting my point? We call it as what? Data frames. It is called as what, guys? Data frames. Clear, all of you now? The data frames are nothing but, it is nothing but the data will be stored within a data pipeline in ADB in, what is that? In the form of a data frame. So here we can say data frame or data sets. Here you can say data sets or data frame. Clear, all of you now? Data sets or data frame. Clear now, guys? So now can you see here? All of you are understanding the process or not? Guys, this is very, very important. If you understand this, then you can understand the entire rest of the process. If not, please let me know so that I can repeat or give some example on that, so that you people understand it.
Yeah, hi Samir, I have one small doubt here.
Yes.
So here data set or data frame. So data is storing in the form of table. But my doubt is if data is not structured, it means unstructured data. Because unstructured data, it's not contain row and column. So at the time, how we can call it as?
Yes, how we can call it here is we get the data pull in here. So at the time of pulling, what we do is we convert this unstructured data into a structured format.
Okay.
That is the job of a data engineer.
Okay.
That is the job of a data engineer. You may get the data. See, if you have a live streaming data, you may not have any format, particular format, you may not get it. But we have to convert the data into form of proper tables and rows. There actually the logic of the data engineer applies. Getting my point? If you have the file in XML, or if you have the file in HTML, or if you have the file in JSON, so this kind of files are called as what? Semi-structured data, where you not have a proper rows and column structure. So that is our job to convert that semi-structured data into what is that? Structured tabular format. Structured.
This Databricks, we can't, transform like, images and audio, video, that kind of files.
Basically, see, audio, video files, all can be accessed of. We can access everything. Databricks can access everything. It's not like that. So that is the reason why for most of the times, for data ingestion, most of the times we are going for ADF. And whereas for the further process, we are using the ADB in such a case. In most of the projects, it's happening. Okay. So if at all you have such kind of data. Okay. So now, okay, guys. So now here you have, can you see, these are the things we have it. That is called as what? Components of ADB. Now, the next one is called as, what is that? The next one is called as triggers. Triggers. So now, guys, what do you mean triggers? Basically, the triggers concept, I'll explain you guys. Triggers are nothing but here, for example, you want to wake up early morning at 5 o'clock. Now, guys, there is a question. You wanted to wake up early morning at 5 o'clock and you slept at 2 o'clock. So now, guys, can you wake up automatically? Yes, guys, can you wake up automatically?
No, sir.
Then what do you do?
We need an alarm to trigger us.
Very good. That means you require an alarm to wake you up, isn't it? So how do you fix an alarm?
Usually like in a mobile or alarm clock.
Very good. So previously we used to have an alarm clock, but nowadays we are using it a mobile phone to fix an alarm also. Now, if you are already waken up at 5 o'clock, will the alarm ring or not?
Yes, sir. But we'll just put it down.
That is okay. That is manual process you're doing it. But you're still woken up till that time. So definitely, irrespective of your status, whether you're woken up or sleeping, the alarm will ring or not. If you have put it.
Yeah, it will ring.
So whereas that is called as alarm. That means alarm is nothing but it is used to wake you up on a given time or a given date, or a given time or a given date, whatever you think you have it. In the same way here also, the triggers concept is used to kickstart. It is used to kickstart a pipeline. It is used to kickstart a pipeline on a given date or given time. On a given date or given time. That means you want to start this data pipeline. Data pipeline, you have designed it, guys. What you have done, can you see here? I have designed the data pipeline. In this data pipeline, I have attached, that means this entire data from the source, I have attached it, and I have created the mount points and storages are ready, everything. But to fill in the data from the source to the destination, to reach the data to the destination, we need to run a pipeline. We need to, what is that? Run the pipeline. Am I right, guys? We need to run the pipeline to load the data into, what is that? Destination. So hence, in this case, we require to start the pipeline. That is called as what? Kickstart the pipeline. So whereas to kickstart the pipeline automatically. To kickstart the pipeline, what is that? Automatically on a given time or a given date. That means suppose I want the process of, can you see here, extraction and loading, not the transformation, guys. Extraction and loading. I want the extraction and loading. I want the extraction and loading on Friday at 2 p.m. And 2 p.m. I may not be there before the system, but it should run. So what should I do now? Tell me.
We'll set up triggers.
Very good. We set up the, yes, we set up the trigger to start the pipeline, to kickstart the pipeline automatically at 2 p.m. on this Friday. So now, guys, what I'm doing, whether I am there in front of the system or not, the pipeline will start picking up the data. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. So that is nothing but the concept of trigger. Now, apart from this, what is the other concept apart from the trigger? You have the triggers. Basically, apart from the triggers, we can also use one more method that is called as what? Debug. Debug is manual method of running a pipeline. Debug is nothing but, it is called as what? Manual method of running the pipeline. Okay, whereas trigger is nothing but, it is called as automated method of running a pipeline. Okay, you design the pipeline, trigger it to run at around 2 p.m. today on Friday, that is the 30th of September 2022. You go anywhere, the pipeline will run at that particular given time. That is called as what? Trigger. Whereas debug is nothing but manually you have to run it. So whereas the triggers basically mostly used here in the production environment. Okay, production environment, and even in the development environment. If you have a development project, guys, if you have a development project or if you have a production project, almost every time we design the triggers and leave it as it is. Whereas if it is a testing environment, then you can go with the debug option. Getting my point, all of you? Yes, everyone is following or not? Please come out with your answer. Yes or no, say something.
Yes.
Yes, so whereas these are the two things. So if at all, the triggers are mostly used in the production environment and development environment, but the testing is mostly used in the in the testing environment. We use the debug, that is manual mode of running a pipeline. Getting my point? So now, guys, these are the few of the components. These are the few of the components in ADB. That is called as what, guys? That is called as what? Yes, that is called as what? Ultimately, that is components in ADB. So now, guys, all of you clear or not? Please. So what is a pipeline? Now tell me, what is a pipeline? Please. What is a pipeline? What it does? Whatever you understood, tell me.
Transfers the data from source to destination.
That's it. Now, what is bound points?
Bound point, it's create the connection between storages and pipelines.
Very good. And what is data sets?
Data sets maintain the structures of the data.
Very good. And trigger, what it does?
Trigger used to kickstart our pipeline in a given time or a date.
Very good. So now next one after this, the fifth one, we have it here as, yes guys, activities. Activities. That means what in the activities? The activities is nothing but it is used to mention what activity you want to perform. That is nothing but, suppose I'm using copy. Suppose I'm using what's that? Copy. Okay. So that means what it does, tell me now. Copy, if I'm using it, simply, guys, simply, can you see here? Simply, it copies the data from the source. What is my source? My source is the Azure Blob Storage. My source is the Azure Blob Storage. It copies the data from the source, and as it is, it pastes the data. That is called as Control-C and Control-V. What type of action? What type of action you want to perform on a data pipeline? Whether you want to copy the data or whether you want to write in conditional statements. Conditional statement means what? If then else condition statements. Or you want to use the do until or do while, that is called as for each. Any kind of activity you want to use it. Any kind of activity you want to use it. For that, we go with what is that? Yes, for that we go with what? Activity. So what is activity? Activity is nothing but the type of action, all of you, the type of action you wanted to perform on the data. Simply copy or simply apply the condition statement. That means copy the data. Suppose I'm using copy with a conditional statement. That means if. That means copy only those records where the salaries of the employees is less than 50,000. Is less than 50,000. This is my condition. So now what I'm doing? I'm using the copy activity along with the if condition. Am I right, guys? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
So now, so here, what are the activities I'm using it? Copy activity and conditional activity. These are the two conditional statement activities. So these are the actions. What type of action you wanted to perform on the data? That is called as what? Yes, that is called as what, guys? Ultimately, that is called as what? The activities. Now, the next one, you have it here as, yes, guys, data flows. So now, guys, what do you mean data flows? Data flows is nothing but it is also called as mapping data flows. The full name of this is called as what? Mapping data flows. Now, guys, what do you mean mapping data flows? Mapping data flows is nothing but these are the actual transformations we perform on the data. These are called as what? Actual transformation. See, E, I explained you extraction. L, I explained you loading. But actually, what is T? T is nothing but transformation, guys. T is nothing but called as what? Transformation. So ultimately, the transformation is done here by using what is that? Data flows. By using what is that? Data flows. What about transformation? Suppose I wanted to use the aggregator transformation. Suppose aggregation of data. Okay, aggregation of data. I want to use it. Suppose I have list of employees like this. Can you see here? List of salaries of the employees like this. 20,000, 30,000, guys, 40,000, like this. I want the sum, aggregate the sum. So now tell me, what is the sum of the salaries you have it? 20,000 plus 30,000. Yes, 90,000. The total is 90,000. So now 90,000. So this, but to perform this particular arithmetic operation, that means you're converting these 3 lines data into how many lines data here? Can you see? Only 1 line. Am I right, guys? Only 1 line. So to perform this kind of action on the data, or this kind of what is that? Transformation on the data, we use the activity called what is that? Data flow activity. Getting my point? Sorry, we use the transformations called what? Data flow transformations or mapping data flows, which is also called as what? Mapping data flows. Getting my point, all of you? See, guys, don't get confused here between the what is that? Activities and mapping. Activities is nothing but what? The action you want to perform. Whether you want to copy the data or you want to copy some conditionally, etc., you have to write it here. Okay. Whereas mapping data flows is the actual process of summarizing the data. It is the actual process of what is that? Summarizing the data. So ultimately, the job of a data engineer is to write what? Is to write the transformation. Getting my point? So into the required format, how the data should be loaded, how you should get that required format. Can you see here? We have to load the net profit. Whereas the calculation of the net profit, how do you calculate it? What is the formula we applied? That we do it in where? In the transformation ultimately. Getting my point? So now here actually the detailed records are given in the Excel sheet. And now ultimately you have to find out the net profit and load the net profit. Find out the net profit and load the net profit into the target. So now guys, what is the activity we will use it? Copy activity will use it. Whereas what is the data flow action we use it? Data flow action we use it as what? Aggregation. We use what is that? Aggregation. We use an aggregation transformation and perform the ultimate thing and load the final output of profit into the data set. And this entire thing will be carried out by whom? By the pipeline. So within the pipeline only all these things comes. What is that? Either it can be the data flows, whether it can be the activities, everything comes under the pipeline only, not beyond the pipeline. Okay, everyone, getting it, everyone? Yes, guys, am I right?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
If you're not getting it, please let me know, because this is the last theory class we'll have it. Now we'll start up with the practicals now from the next class, or this one, whatever we have it. Please tell me now, because if you don't understand this, it will be very highly impossible for you to understand the further process, guys. Please tell me. If you're understanding, then it's fine. I don't have any.
It's very clear, Samir.
Okay, that's it. Now, guys, next after this. Now, how does the bricks environment runs actually? Let us try to see this first of all. Okay. Okay, so I will show you, guys, how does the bricks environment runs. Now here we require, first of all, the following sequence should be followed. Databricks, guys, Databricks works on, once you start the Databricks, we require to use a workspace, which is called as what? Databricks workspace, which is called as what? Databricks. Guys, what is that? Databricks workspace. So on a single workspace, guys, on a single workspace, okay, we can have, what is that? Yes, on a single workspace, in a single workspace, we can have, what is that? Multiple pipeline can be executed here in a single workspace. Getting my point? So now the workspace, that means first of all, you start the Databricks session, and then you have to create the Databricks workspace, and the single Databricks workspace, guys, or we can say multiple clusters. Can you see here? Cluster. What do you mean by cluster? Can you see here? Cluster. So multiple clusters can be run on a single workspace. Single workspace. We can run, what is that? Multiple clusters on a single workspace. Whereas we have, what is that? The next one is called as what, guys? The next one we call it as, what is that? Notebook. Notebook. So now multiple notebook. So what do you mean notebook, guys? In general, tell me, what do you mean notebook? You forget about the subject. Now tell me, what do you mean notebook?
It's a kind of editor.
Notebook is nothing but where we write an information. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Book is nothing but where we write the information. In the same way,
Yes.
here, whatever the language we use it, whether we use the Scala or R or Python, all the codes we are going to write it on a notebook. And a single notebook, we can write it in a single notebook. We can write the there is any commands in 4 different languages: Scala, Python, R, and SQL. Scala, Python, R, and SQL. So all these are that is nothing but languages code we can write on a notebook. And notebook requires to run a cluster. So what do you mean cluster? A group of machines is called as a cluster. Getting my point? Suppose I am having computer A, computer A, computer B, guys, computer C. Now tell me how many computers I have it, guys?
3.
3 computers. Whereas the 3 computers together, the 3 computers together is called as what? Cluster.
Cluster.
Getting my point? These 3 computers together is called as what? Cluster. Now, guys, I want the computer A to control the computer B and computer C. So have you, I think you all are working professionals, you must know. Guys, you have seen the LAN connection, no? Local area network, LAN, LAN.
Yes, sir.
So we do the programming in one computer. It should appear, it will also appear in other computers. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So how it is possible? It is possible because, yes, it is possible because, why? Because all of them are connected to the LAN. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So whereas one computer, guys, one computer will maintain one computer will control the all computers. That means here you will have, suppose I'm using the computer A to control the computer B and C. So this computer is called as what? Master computer. Am I right, guys?
Yes, sir.
This is called master computer. And these are called as what? Servant computers. Am I right,
Servant
guys?
or slave nodes.
Slave, very good, excellent. Slave computers. Getting my point, guys? Servant or slave computers. Whereas the cluster is the collection of master computer and slave computer. Am I right, guys? Yes. Cluster is the collection of what? Master computer and slave computer. Getting my point? So now this is nothing but a cluster. So we can have 1 or 100 clusters running off in a single workspace. I can have what is it? In a single workspace, I can have multiple clusters. So now, guys, this is nothing but the hierarchy. Anyways, I will explain you each and everything. What is Databricks workspace, how it works, what are the things we have it, what are the different type of clusters, what's the different type of notebook in the one after the other. So today, so to cut short the things, I'll start up the session here. That's it. Guys, simply go to the portal.azure.com. Simply go to what is that? Portal. Can you see here, all of you? Portal.azure.com. And now here you have a Databricks. Click on this Databricks.
Yes, Amir.
Yeah.
You did not share the screen. We are unable to. We are see only Notepad.
Now you are able to see.
Yes. Right now we can
see. This is the guys. This is the portal.azure.com. What is it? It is portal.azure.com. So all of you just try to log in into this portal.azure.com. And now, guys, here you have a Databricks. So you have to start the session here. Okay. You have to start the session here, everyone. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Here you have what is it? Portal.azure.com. So yes, guys. Am I clear, everyone? So how to start up this one? So I will even I'll share you that one. Just a minute. How to start this session? I'll tell you. Open a new portal, a web page.
There is a community edition in your database, right?
Yes, community edition also you can use it. This also you can use it. But in the community edition, few options are not working. So it will not work properly. So you can go with this. Can you see here? Open this. Guys, open this. Any browser I'm opening up. Can you see here? I'm opening a browser here.
I'm not getting community version. Is there for this Azure Databricks? Or?
Yeah, for Databricks, you have a community version also. Community edition for using this. Or else you can use this. So simply you can use this Azure session also. Can you see here? Use azure.com first of all. Azure.com. Use it. All of you. Azure.com. Now you get it. Now here you can start for free, or else you can go for a pay as you go model. Anyways, I'm getting started here. Can you see here? Click on this button called Getting Started. Now, once you click on the Get Started, just a minute. Can you see here? You can go for free or you can sign in. That is, go for free, because mine is not a free. This is a paid version. So hence you can go with two models. The first model is pay as you go model. The first model is, what is it? Pay as you go model. The first model is pay as you go model. And the second one is, what is it? Azure for free. So free means, guys, the cluster creation and all these things may not be possible. So only single machine cluster you can create it here. So I suggest you, all of you, to have it. Pay as you go model will not cost you more. So I will show you how to reduce the cost, how to maintain the cost. I'll tell you, don't worry, so that you get only a 500 to 600 rupees per month on this. You're not spending more than that. So, but you have to follow some protocols for that. So guys, so you have, for getting started, what is it you have to use? Simply use try Azure for free. So anyways, this free version will work you for around 1 month. Okay. Then afterwards, again, you have to upgrade it. So rather than taking the free version for ADB, because ADB requires a intensive practice and work, so you can go with the pay-as-you-go model. And once you click on this, guys, so can you see here, try Azure for free or whatever you click in? Can you see here? You have two models, start free or pay-as-you-go models. Any one you can choose it, pay-as-you-go model or start free. So if I click on this pay-as-you-go model or start free, click on this. Now can you see here? It is asking for username and password. That means you have to give your mail ID, you have to give your password, everything you have to give it. Then it will ask you, after this, it will ask you the payment information. That is where you have to give your credit card information, and it will charge only 2 rupees from your credit card initially. Only 2 rupees will be deducted. Then automatically the same thing will continue. And now ultimately it takes you to this particular page. What is the page you have it? Portal.azure.com. It goes to the page called what? Portal.azure.com. This is the actual page of Azure. You can use this in community edition also, but I suggest you to always go with the Azure because it has a more features than all this. Okay, guys. So this is nothing but what is it? You have it, guys. This is nothing but it is called as what? The portal.azure.com. So now click on the Databricks. And now, guys, one more thing. If you could not find the Databricks here, how to search? Simply type here Databricks. Can you see it? Type Databricks. You can type Databricks here like this. So you will get it here. All of you, the screen is visible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Just click on this, you'll get it. This is the, can you see here, bricks. This is the bricks session. So now you want to start the service. So create Azure Databricks service. You want to create because there is no brick service here. So for that, click on the create, or else you can use the blade here, or else you can use the blade also. I'll show you. You can use the create blade, else we can use it here. Anything you can use it. So I'm using the create. Now, guys, this particular thing requires a resource group. What is a resource group? Let us see here first of all. Now, guys, resource group is nothing but resource group. What is resource group? Can you see here, guys? I'm just taking you to the desktop, all of you. This is a folder. I'm creating it right now. This is a folder. Now I'm giving the folder name as ABC main. ABC main. Open this. Open this main folder. Now, guys, I will create some subfolders here. A, B, and now I will have a Word file. C,